How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another stream. Hope boys are having a wonderful, beautiful day. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back, boyos. Welcome back to another wonderful, beautiful live stream, boys. We got ourselves more 5v5 1v1s on the day. More 5v5 1v1 duels today over on the NA. But EU, if you guys are from EU, don't go anywhere. If for some reason we're struggling to get people on NA for like a first hour, we'll open it to EU as well. How you boys all doing? Welcome back, welcome back. We are going to give NA a solid try, though, a solid chance. It is that time, my dude. How's the day, my guy? Yo, what's up, Zachary? Hope you're having a good one, my man. I'm having a good one, dude. Having a good one. Pink T-Rex and your Broton, current the beautiful Chicago. I see you, boys. My favorite intro of all time. Glad you enjoyed. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I've been getting better sleep as of recently. Got a 5 man? Yo, let's go, dude. I don't think we're going to even need the EU, man. We got plenty over on the NA, but if for whatever reason we don't have enough, honestly, that's just a scheme for me to get the EU boys to join and watch the streams. Obviously, it's just a big brain scheme that I've had to just make sure the EU is watching the duels, so then everybody goes and hit this video a like and make sure to hit subscribe if you enjoy this content on the daily. That's all it was. It's just a clever ruse. You know what I mean? Just a clever ruse. Let me get the music up and running. It's tad loud. And you know what? I'm feeling so good. I'm gonna grab a soda. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me get the WoW up and running. Right? Let me just get the WoW rolling. Am I the only one that looks at people that, let's say, stream or do videos on a regular and they wear, like, you know, the big cans, and when they take them off, they just don't even look like the same person? Like, I feel like the width of my head just shrunk. You know what I mean? Am I the only one, dude? That's like, wow, their head looks a little different. And it's just like, these are missing from the top of the head. Dal Edge Boy. All right, boys, set up groups. I'm gonna grab a soda literally really quickly. Be right back. Okay, we're ready. I think we are ready. Yo, whisper me real quickly. Am I online on BNet? Yes, I am. Okay, cool. Whisper me really quickly if you got a group for 5v5 1v1s and you're good to go, boys. Gonna play checks on me? No, I'm serious. If we don't have enough people on NA today, we will go and add EU to that list of people that are playing for the day. I'm serious about that. Because it worked out pretty well for the last few weeks, man. It worked out well for the last few weeks. Because if EU is always here, I might as well give him a chance, you know what I mean? If there's not enough people on an A, I'm serious about that one. Yeah, what's better for Outlaw? 2 swords or sword and dagger? For, I think sword and dagger on average. It doesn't really make a difference too much. If you like swords, because you feel like you can make a mog happen, you can do like 2 one-handers. Hell, there could be axes, maces, fist weapons, all that stuff works fine. Night King just needs a one more. We're good to go. All right. But I think if for damage, it's better to have a dagger offhand right now. Just slightly. I'd like to join OP Zap. Oh, boys, you guys need to know how to join in the 5v5 1v1s. Yo, Cran, can you hit me with it? Can you hit us with it? The post on the how to join the 5v5 1v1 Duels. Hit us with it so I can pin it. But you go to if you guys were not aware, if you want to join into the groups for 5v5 1v1 right now, you go to LFG, go to the player versus player tab, Premier Group, Custom PvP, find a group, type number 5 in the search, enter, and you should see a 5v5 1v1 group available on Alliance and or Horde, if there's groups available for either one. But if you guys, however, don't see one, you can almost start one by hitting start group. Call it something like 5v5 1v1 Duels, maybe add the name Dalaran in there just so people can find you. But as long as you have the number 5 in there for the 5v5, most people should be able to find it because all the searches for that number 5. And then you list it, get 4 people in, so you make a 5-man group, add me on Real ID, and I'll queue you against some of the boys that are up and running, playing against each other right now. That's all it takes, man. That's all it takes. And it looks like Night King on Alliance is looking for a +1. So if you guys want to join on the Alliance, Night King got a group, Chicago got a group. I think Chicago's Alliance as well, so it'll be 2 Alliance groups, in fact. Unless they're somehow part of the same group. Here we go. And I can pin it. You guys can follow the pins in order to join, figure out how to join these groups. It's pretty quick, pretty easy, pretty simple. There's a lot of Alliance here, but then again, I am on Dalaran, which is an Alliance-heavy server on this tune. Dude, the Demon Hunter wombo combo, by the way, of Hunt into Unbound Chaos, apparently so good right now. Wait, can I go to the Demon Hunter Ring of Fates? Can I go to the Ardent Wield? Wait, for this build, do you play Momentum too? Increases damage down by 50% for 6 seconds. So do you Fell Rush into Hunt into a Fell Rush? I think that's what you do, right? Let me try this combo. This guy has no gear whatsoever, and I don't really play my Demon Hunter that often, but it's still kind of mildly fun. 134 Admiral. I don't play this character ever. He's literally just to watch the duels, man. You know what I mean? Not able to find a 5v5 on a Horde. You can always make one, man. You can always make a group. RP. There's probably other people looking too, so if you make a group, you'll probably be able to get people in there, man. You know what I mean? Still need one. We need one more on Alliance, boys, for Night King. And we'll be good and ready to go. We'll be good and ready to go. But yeah, that Demon Hunter combo is really strong right now. I've been so out of the loop with Demon Hunter. And I almost want to take a look at them again, but then that means setting up this Demon Hunter with like actual binds. And his binds are all for the spectator mode. I literally moved the abilities out of the way. And I mostly just use them for like any kind of footage when I want to talk about Demon Hunters. For like any updates, I just use some B-roll. But I was kind of excited, not gonna lie, about Necrolord Demon Hunter. That actually would get me to want to play one, maybe. It's like a covenant that no one plays at all, but I think it would be kind of cool just having these random demons attack you. You slay them, you get a buff, and then you can utilize Metamorphosis with that buff. It's like, what, 20% damage increase and a 25% of your health as a heal? Like, that seems really good. Imagine being a Havoc Demon Hunter. Vengeance. Which, by the way, it looks like maybe Vengeance could get nerfed. Apparently, somebody did the math, and it looks like they've been bugged, and they've actually taken less magic damage than any other class. Like, they already had the most damage reduction passive, because they have, like, natural damage mitigation. And if you play Kyrian, which most of them are, you get the Soulbind with Pelagos for, like, I think it's up to 6, if not 3%. But I think it's up to, like, 6%. Magic reduction, maybe 3% at most, but it's like some damage reduction there, right? So that's what people are playing. And what am I trying to say? Anyway, there's like a conduit that gives you magic reduction. Then you avenge Demon Hunter, so you have passive damage magic reduction. And then if you're Kyrian, you got Pelagos magic damage reduction. And apparently, through the numbers, the damage reduction for Demon Hunters apparently has been bugged since the beta. So Demon Hunters could potentially get nerfed in terms of like their magic reduction could be lowered. Because apparently it's not calculating it properly. I don't think Blizzard will go about doing that. I feel like already they've established like, oh, Demon Hunters are the best at mitigating magic damage. I feel like they might just up the numbers and keep basically gameplay the same. I will be surprised if they actually changed it. because a lot of people kind of like playing Vengeance Demon Hunter. Like, it's a really simple spec to play. It's really effective, and I feel like it would just shake up the meta maybe a bit too much if Demon Hunters had that kind of a change, because they also reduced their survivability back in the day. There's like a Wowhead article, but I forgot about it too, and the article reminded me that, yeah, they did reduce their self-healing, but it never really felt that bad because you had crazy magic reduction. They still take the most damage out of all the others in melee, in physical, but it's like, it makes sense to me, right? You take less magical damage, but you don't take as easily as physical. Like, leave that for the prop warriors and stuff. You know, not all tanks can be great at everything. But, I don't know. I wonder if they'll actually go about and it will change it up at all. Anyway, let's try this burst combo. So you want to go for momentum. I believe that's you play with momentum. Maybe you play this with demonic, actually. But I think you play with momentum. You fell rush to get the damage activation. You pop Unbound Chaos, and then you charge at an enemy with Hunt while momentum is up, and then you do a fell rush right after, so then you do more damage with Unbound Chaos on a 134 item level Demon Hunter. Let's try it. Big damage, big damage, big damage, big damage. How much damage was that? How much damage was that, actually? I think I could see it. Hold on. Okay, so there we have the Hunt dot. Okay, so the Hunt hit the train dummy for 7k, which is a pretty good start. And then a Fell Rush hit him for 4k. Together, that's like what? And this guy is not super geared either. Like, I imagine if you had crazy amount of gear, you probably could do so much more too. He's on mastery with it too. But it's like, what? Basic 8k, then 4k, 12k. That's like half of my health. Imagine if I was actually geared on the Demon Hunter. I don't even know what stats you would go. I guess versatility, right? You still have Doomblade Legendary and go on plus until you can. Yeah, so you can totally play with Doomblade Legendary. You'll just do a lot more single target damage than AoE. But in like situations where you have a full Shiv or a Vendetta, you could like, so in the opener, I guess in a trash pack, right? Let's say there's in a trash pack as a rogue, there's one guy in the group that's like the big guy. Think of like the other side, and you know how the first build before you go into like that Hakar room, there's that one big caster mob that has a knockback effect. So basically in the opener, I think what you would do as assassination is you would go Garrode, 3 enemies, Crimson Tempest, and you'll pop Vendetta into that guy, shiv him, and start mutilating and envenoming back and forth. So you'll burn that Vendetta and start doing single target damage while you have the AoE bleed going on. And then after that Vendetta is gone, then I think you'll go back to dotting things up with Feather Knives. But yeah, so you have those moments where you can go for like Shiv into Mutilates into Envenoms. And I think that's what you'll do. Like, so it's 3-pack, let's say you got a big Shiv ready. You'll just open up 3 Garrotes on 3 or 2 enemies. And then you'll, on 3 targets, I guess it's fine to use Crimson Tempest as well. So you'll triple Garrote, Crimson Tempest on everybody. And then you'll kind of just focus down one guy with Mutilates, and then Shiv him, and then Envenom. And then you'll try Envenom while Shiv is up. Kind of that's how I would end up playing it. But I think the crit leg makes it a little bit easy. NA or EU today? NA today. NA today, boys. EU Friday, Saturday, NA. But yeah, we're still looking for more people. Night King still needs a 1 more. Night King still needs an Uno Mas. Otherwise, you're good to go, boys. Otherwise, you're good to go. Yeah, but doesn't Demon Hunter have like a playstyle where as long as you don't go First Blood, you literally just press Demon's Bite and then Chaos Strike, and that's all you do? I think there's a build with Demon Bite blades now. And Fell Blade, isn't there? Am I wrong about that? Isn't that a build nowadays? Wait, there's 3 train dummies, 2 train dummies, 1 train dummy. There's not an AoE one for these guys, is there? Am I wrong? But you basically don't press Blade Dance anymore. I remember when you used to. Like, Demon Hunters don't have a lot of abilities to begin with, so it feels a little weird not pressing Blade Dance ever. Yeah, it's been so long since I played this guy. He actually had a decent weapon too. Like, it was created basically day 1. It'll just wait on 1, but you just need 1 run alliance, boys. If you guys got a friend or somebody, let us know, man. Let us know. Are the other covenants for having Demon Hunter low than Night Fae? Kyrian, I think, is really good for tanking. Ready? Let's go, dude. So, game a group to Wargren. Alright, Wargren, let me know, dude. Let me know if you're ready. Let me know. Summon Chill Pills team. Okay, Wargran, whisper me in real ID, man. I'll get you group up and running. This Wargran is the lead. Here we go. Ping T-Rex. Perfect. Yeah, I don't really know. Let me check. So in Sims, and I don't really play Demon Hunter main. So I'm hoping that you're a Demon Hunter main yourself. Look at the Sims of all the Covenants. Wait! Necrolord is good! Wait a second! Emily! Wait a second! Yo! Naji is good? Necrolord is good? Yo! Crysters! I think you got choices. As long as you're not Kyrian, you got Necro apparently simming really good. And apparently Naji is simming really good. Yo! Apparently it sims really good. But then again, this is their setup, right? This is a character profile. With this set of talents. So you'll have to sim yourself. Right? You'll have to sim yourself. With Blade Dance. So this is pure single target. Pure ST. But I'm pretty sure it won't be that far behind, right? It can't be that far behind, right? Maybe. And apparently this is a really good weapon for Demon Hunters too. Not for rogues. Not for rogues. Alrighty, boys. We got ourselves a group. Finally, 4-5-5 1-1s. Let's get Pink T-Rex and Night King in here, boys. Night King and Pink T-Rex. Here we go. Here we go. Finally, we got some duels up and running for the day, boys. Although I always like talking about classes with you guys. I always like talking about classes. Talking shop about classes. But yo, Necrolord apparently is a thing. Dude. I actually would love to play with Demon Hunter now that Necrolord is a thing. I would really like to play Demon Hunter now that Necrolord is a thing. But this guy is basically hard stuck as a spectator bot. Like, I don't really know. But yeah, if you want to play Venti or Sinful Brand, that would be really, really good. Sinful Brand. I like you, dude. Happy Brand. Happy Brand. Alright, boys. We got ourselves first duel of the day over on the NA. Buff sub. What's that name, bro? Twitch. Got ourselves team 1 together with Dark Messiah on the team. We have ourselves Revendare. We got ourselves Chill Pills with Chicago as well as Buff Sub. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. With Solomon as a sub rogue on Alliance. On that team, we also got ourselves Nilu. We got ourselves Dying. We got ourselves IFYKYK and Wargran. Are you Kyrian? Or are you Necrolord? I think you're Kyrian, right? You're still Kyrian. I don't think he swapped out, did he? It looks like it's going to be Chicago first versus Solomon. Starting out as an elemental shaman. He got himself the earth elemental available. Am I lagging? Or are these guys just AFK? No, they're not. I'm not lagging. They are there. They just stopped. And Solomon, he's just yelling something. I think maybe they're trying to figure out who's going first, who's going last. I have no idea, honestly. I have no idea. Isn't Necro that exploding demon? Yes, for Demon Hunters, it is a demon that explodes. And it gives you like a 20% buff and a 25% heal, I think. I could be wrong about that one, though. Chicago, oh, it looks like Solomon actually straight up waited until the Earth Elemental was gone. Maybe Chicago had to dismiss the Earth Elemental. Starting out as an enhancement shaman off the bat. Going to be Counter-Strike Totem zapping at Solomon. Who's taking quite a bit of damage from it. Chicago looking for that health recovery. Ghost Wolves are on the road. Cloak of Shadows with advantage. Comes out of the rogue pretty early on as he was taking a bit of damn. Chicago was able to scare the rogue away for a second, but are they out of the woods just yet as the rogue is hanging around still? Is it playing that Dagger in Dark? Is he going for the big Shadow Strike? I don't know if he is. He's going for the big Eviscer. Chicago does get the Earth Shield healing. They're keeping himself alive into a blind by Solomon, who is going to have his Sap ZR'd at this point, I believe. Unless DR. So Chicago's probably going to get a heal here. Definitely got a heal. And I also got the Necrolord Primordial Wave, which should give him more healing. Picking up the eyes, and Solomon has to go in now. Unless Chicago just doesn't find him, does get him out. 100% crit is going to be not guaranteed for Solomon. Trick us out of the Sundering. Biggest Sun is available for Chicago. Solomon is going to go for a cheap shot, trying to control the situation, doing some damage to Chicago, but looks like they will be surviving. The Slime Shield does come into play. Solomon has evasion, so Chicago will be able to only do so much to Solomon for the time being. Try to Door of Shadows out of there, but Chicago does prevent it into a Shadow Step by the Rogue. Big leap by Chicago. Door of Shadows still trying to make a play for Solomon. As long as Chicago keeps a Flame Shock on the guy, he should be able to find him. Either way, needs to catch up to the Rogue before the reset does get zapped on it. And Solomon does get himself a clean re-stealth. Second charge of Shadowlands available very, very soon. Is going to be able to reopen back up to Chicago. Ventio Flagellation is getting used up here. Get a shot onto Chicago. Big damage, big damage. Sundering for Chicago needs to get himself a bit of a heal. Flesh Cut is available, does get interrupted on it. Perfect heal for Chicago. And Solomon is going to get zapped up by the counter strike totem with Chicago, siphoning his soul, using it for better purposes. Your soul was only as useful as it could be in life, but it'll be more useful in death, which something Shaman you would think would never say, but Chicago embraces that Dark Shaman thing going on. Dying is up next. Is going to get himself that Army of the Dead rolling in just a moment with the Abomination joining the fight. We don't see a lot of Unholy Death. It's got himself this helping hand available too. Taking a bit of damage himself though. He's going to have to go for a little bit of defensive. Anti-magic zone is available. IBF overlapped on top of it. Has himself the big Lichborn available. So it's Death Coils to heal himself up. And correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Death Coil, like when you self-heal, get you all those Death Coil procs too? Like runic procs? Like runic empowerment for Unholy? Or am I wrong about that? Or is it only aggressive? I wonder. Because it actually would be kind of like a combat benefit to Unholy in a sense. Does it? Does it work for all the specs? Because I'm pretty sure it works for Frost Death Knights, Unknown Frost Strikes, but does it work for Death Coils? Is there any runic power consuming ability? Death Strikes? Does it work with Death Strikes too? I mean, I'm just wondering. Counter-Strike Totem is available. Darkness, and it looks like Dying just doesn't really want to hit Chicago with that Counter-Strike Totem being out just yet. Beefing up his pet into an AMS available. And Chicago trying to get a Primordial Wave up and running. I don't know if they'll be able to get a big Lightning Bolt set up here, but it is taking quite a bit of damage from the pet, as well as that link between the pet and the Death Knight sundering on to Dying into a Trinket. Does he have any other ways out of it? Might have to go extra aggressive here, or just go for a little bit of a run away from Chicago, trying to Ellie Blast Dying in the back of the head. It looks like Chicago is going to be able to capitalize on a big Lightning Bolt at the very end. Wargren up and running next with his Carrion Wings. Resonating Shot coming out, but it's going to be a wall for Chicago. Trinkets out of that with a big knockback for Wargren. Has the line inside of Chicago. Flashcraft is available. Cannot interrupt it for Chicago. That's actually pretty good defensive usage of it. That's a 20% DR while the Flashcraft is crafting. And it's also an absorb. That's actually such a good use of the defensive. And because he defeated the Rogue, they gave him a slight cooldown reduction. That's going to be a freezing trap down on one of the Frost Wolves as Vorgren is there to capture some wolves. He's hunting, dude. But you can't take the hunt out of the hunter. He's always looking for them wild animals, dude. He was hoping to trap Chicago in there, but he saw a wolf and he just couldn't help himself. Wargren though taking a bit of damage, not really looking all that healthy for the time being. Is going to need to go for a CC chain or maybe even pop big defenses to deal with Chicago. Does land the freezing trap under his feet, trying to get himself manic bandage, whatever recovery is possible with more traps to keep Chicago CC'd. If only Chicago had a flame shock on the pet or something, otherwise that camo wouldn't have lasted at all. Wargren trying to maximize the value of that camo, knowing that Chicago is approaching him, is getting quite significant healing. Knockback trap, giving him a little bit more utility just to sit in there. Tar trap, not really slowing Chicago down. The freezing trap does prevent Chicago from getting Wargren out, but he's going to get himself out either way. He's going to use a wing clip on Chicago, actually. I didn't realize you can use wing clip without doing damage to the enemy. Didn't that ability always have like a damaging benefit to it? I guess not. Wargren landing the stun into a resonating arrow in Chicago. Max range in it, so he's gonna go for full aspect of the eagle here. Just trying to get as much damage without even being aligned inside of Chicago. Just cheesing a lot of the damage. Chicago though, max range out of that resonating arrow as best as they could. Got himself a little bit of sustain. And getting that earth elemental up and running. That earth element with extra health increase is going to be really good. If Chicago's also trying to avoid, as you can see, the freezing trap sundering onto Wargren. If only they have a grounding totem. Actually, they do have a grounding totem. Chicago could ground the traps if they're very careful enough. That's going to be Earth Elemental trapped in place. He knows who to attack. He knows he wants to go after the Wargren, but he just cannot reach him with that steel trap, preventing the massive rocks. And actually causing a bleed on those massive rocks too, which I think shouldn't be a thing. Can rocks bleed? I hope not. That'd be awful. Primordial Wave set up in Chicago. Do they have a big lightning bolt to follow? That could be pretty big lightning bolt. Scare Beast and one of the Ghost Wolves actually does scare one of the wolves. One of the wolves does go running, actually. I didn't realize it treats it as an actual beast. Into a stone by Wargren. Another resonating shot. Line of sight set up, ready to go. Does not have the eagle here this time, so he's going to go for as many kill commands as he can. Earth Elemental found his way over to Wargren, though. He's going to harpoon at the last second of that resonating in order to try to get over to Chicago. Does drop down the grounding totem, expecting it off of a harpoon, and Wargren is going to have to be a little bit more careful with that freezing trap from now on. He's going to have to try to find a way to bait out the grounding, eliminate the grounding, or use another ability because it gets consumed by the grounding, and then go for a freezing trap. As Chicago does set up a flame shock on Wargren's Manding bandages, trying to get some kind of healing. Big Earth Elemental Blast available for Chicago. Freezing trap does get trinketed out as Chicago was kind of sliding around the place for a moment. Wargren having to burn a turtle shell here too. Just trying to get us away from Chicago, looking for that reset really badly. Manding bandages are going to come to play. Chicago does get a flame shock on the pet, which is a really good thing. If you do have a flame shock available or a shock available, as long as you don't need to slow onto Wargren, you should put a flame shock on the pet every time. It's going to do a bit of damage to the pet, but also if they ever go for a full camo, it'll just be that much harder with a pet. Feign death for Wargren. Chicago onto that freezing trap. Did not expect this one though, did not see it. That's going to be working with even more kiting. Probably got himself resonating shot set up with a slow into Chicago. Ghost wolfing it out of here with a wall immediately. Wargren does have eagle, is going to use it at the last second, but Chicago is not going to have that line of set for too long. And Wargren, does he have any damage here? Has in 5 seconds. Coordinated soul his pet, so it might be something he might be able to work with. We are at 24% dampening, so for Chicago, the healing is eventually going to get worse and worse. Flash Guy for Chicago, is Wargren going to get up close? Does go for a interrupt with muzzle, and Chicago got himself big ascendance available. Can they catch up to Wargren? Any wind strikes again is going to be huge. Ghost was actually getting quite a bit of damage onto Wargren, actually doing quite a bit with the Scare Beast coming out as Wargren goes for the sipping cup. It looks like one of the pets actually backed up away from Wargren. I'm not really sure why one of the pets did that. Did they get a flame check on the pets? Actually, no, he killed the pet. Oh no, since he killed the pet. Oh, but Wargren, every time you summon a pet out of camo, you actually can see where the pet is at. So in a sense, you can actually have the pet run in the other direction, and you could kind of bait out the enemy. But it's going to be Wargren attacking the totem. Big lead by Chicago, and that's going to be that big Braun joining the fight for Wargren. Braun going to try to help out. A third pet to be available for the hunter. Or a second pet, rather. Third pet. If it was Beastmaster, I guess it would be kind of like a third pet. But Braun joins the fight, and so Wargren is just going for that complete reset here, just trying to prolong the game a little bit longer. We'll see how well that'll work out for him, because Chicago so far has been the only one that even got to play on Team 1. But if Chicago can just find themselves a good angle on Wargren, a good setup, big burst, they might be able to take him out and move on to the next challenger, and the rest of them are casters with a lot of abilities that can be dispelled, but Chicago is pretty good at being an enhancement shaman. Or shaman in general. We're gonna get some freebie damage from, but this is Chicago. Not a great spot. Big leap onto Wargren with a sundering right after. Get the big leaps harpoon. Try to see if he can juke him out. Looks like it's not gonna be able to do so. Grounding totem does come down to Wargren. Is gonna have the freedom of a freezing trap at a later time. Feign death with the Manding bandages right after. With a bit of a re-stealth. No dots on the pet. No dots on Wargren. Actually, with the feign death, he does get some of the dots, but with no dots on the pet, he does get himself a full camo off. So Chicago, all they can do is go for eyes. And eventually, Wargren is either going to be able to whittle down Chicago in the higher dampening, or Chicago will eventually need to figure out how to deal with Wargren kite ability, because this hunter is just way too slippery. I did like the pants and wings combo that he's got going on. Sundering. Actually not connecting there? Apparently not. Chicago getting hit with a stun, and Wargren dipping right onto Chicago, making sure to have an Earth Shield available. The Ghosts are running all over the place. It's a lot unfortunate the Ghost was kind of lose track of Wargren so easily. Grounding Totem is up, taking it out immediately, has a freezing trap in case he wants to do it. Is going to have a freezing trap. Chicago could shrink it if they wanted to. Could shrink it if they wanted to. Probably not a good idea here, though, as Wargren is most likely going to be able to get himself a reset either way. Kind of that big unfortunate. But he's definitely going to be able to get himself a reset. Flashcraft does have a muzzle for it. Hex to follow onto Wargren. Does go for a feign death the last second to try to avoid that Hex with a big knockback. Chicago could just keep playing it for a while, though. For only 43% dampening, the self-healing for enhancement channel is still quite high, especially as they get that Maelstrom. And with always having a pet to attack, with War Grand being a hunter, I mean, it's just free Maelstrom. Literally free. Freezing Trap onto Chicago, does go for a trinket. Big Ascendance is available. Stun onto Chicago. Wargun is kind of lowish on health, though. Has Eternal Shell, has Exhilaration, and Chicago needs to find line of sight of Wargun, but with that Steel Trap, cannot do much about it. If only they had the Kyrian Resonating Shot themselves succeed through line of sight, then that'll be huge. That'll be glorious. But without it, it's going to be quite tough. But if anything, they definitely need to maintain some kind of dots, some kind of damage onto Wargren when possible. Big Resonating Shot, Wargren getting some freebie damage. Eagles are flying, so it's going to be a lot of Raptor Strikes back to back. Chicago with a wall, leaping on top of Wargren, but they just cannot connect. Counter-Strike Totem does go down, but Wargren is so far away from it, he doesn't have to worry about Counter-Strike Totem whatsoever. Does make sure to eliminate it. Sundering somehow not connecting with the Hunter. Does go for a feign death. That's going to be Chicago getting the Flame Shock on the pet immediately. Throwing out whatever spells they can at Wargrab with Elemental Blast. Definitely needs to make sure there's some Maelstrom attached behind it. I wonder if they can defeat Wargrab with just like Lightning Bolt Maelstrom casts and Elemental Blast Maelstrom casts. Because eventually Wargrab is not going to have enough healing to sustain himself. Big damage on the Wargrab out of nowhere with Chicago. I'm sorry, what just happened? Out of nowhere. Just took him out. And Iffy is going to be out next. What is going on? Well, Chicago just found strength in the elements out of nowhere. I don't understand what's going on. I don't know what happened. How did he go down? Did he have like a Battle Master's trinket and then it disappeared? Is that what happened? I don't know what happened, but Chicago just found big damage. Iffy is going to be up next. Fleshcraft as a Necrolord. Necrolord Mage. Combustion coming out, but that's going to get dispelled immediately by Chicago. Iffy's damage is going to go on. Dusk of Fleshcraft against Iffy. And Iffy got the triple shield. Candle in his bald head. I don't know what's the... What is the smog he's got going on? You know, take Candle. I don't understand. Chicago's a little bit low on mana. But Iffy, you won't be able to sit down for food. Necrolord, huh? As a Fire Mage, I really am interested. BM Chicken probably. Oh, okay. Battle Masters fell. That would explain it. I didn't realize. I just felt like it was just so tanky for so long. And then just all that health disappeared. But I guess he just had borrowed health the whole time. So Chicago did have good damage. It's not burst damage. But it's just the Hunter borrowing the health and just never being able to catch back in on it. Iffy, I believe, is playing a normal Blink. Yeah, it has to be playing normal Blink. But Chicago could just deal with those shields so easily. Spirit Walker's Grace in order to get out of the route. Or not Spirit Walker's Grace, but that Enhancement Shaman Sprint. In order to get out of the route. And still continue to chase after Iffy. Cannot really get a lot of Maelstrom with the Mage just on the run the whole time. Definitely willing to go for some kind of a slow one to Iffy at some point. Trying to go for an Abyss. Shadow Melt has been used, but the Ghost Souls will get him up and running. That's going to be more heals for Chicago. Iffy, is he actually going to be able to get out of here somehow? Is he going to be able to get out alive with this? Iceball coming out pretty early. I wonder if the Necrolord will ever come into play here for the damage he's got going on. I am actually wondering if that's ever going to be the play for him. Chicago trying to get himself a bit of a range. Big Ascendance. Iffy getting the shields up and running. Necrolord shield does come into play for a moment. Trying to let Apollyon. Chicago does trinket out of it immediately. Has big wind strikes ready for this mage. Is going to get at least one around the corner. Iffy needs to create some line of sight somehow. Big Elemental Blast. It is going to go for the health increase of the Battle Masters. Big Fleshcraft coming out of it. Hopefully that'll help him out even a little. Does have big combustion ready for Chicago. Chicago popping in the wall on this one. If he tried not to get his combustion burned off, does have Altar Time available. Is Chicago going to be able to remove it? Try to remove the Altar Time. But if he does gain back a lot of his health, big Fleshcraft for Chicago. Necrolord Mage, huh? So far he's got himself quite a bit of combustions on the Chicago. But health-wise, Chicago is a little bit ahead. As long as he can just get some damage onto Iffy and maybe dispel a few shields here and there, he will be in a definite good spot. Just Iffy has so much kite ability. Big Sundering Breath out of Iffy. And is going to have himself Cauterize available in case things go bad. But at 70% dampening, I didn't realize that's how long this duel has been going on. 70% dampening, those shields are barely doing anything. Cauterize coming out. Can Chicago do something about it? I think Iffy's just over. I think Iffy's just over it. Big LE Blast from afar, taking him out. I feel like maybe the mage would have had a better chance if we didn't have this high dampening, as the shielding is basically non-existent. Like, Chicago just could stop purging. Like, all the shields make up what the original flame fire shield would be. You know what I mean? Nilu is going to be up next as a Shadow Priest, getting big damage onto Chicago, drop down grounding totem, and left him over there with the Earth Elemental. That PI is giving big value to Nilu, but without having any line of sight on Chicago, it is not proven to be quite as good. Chicago's going to have to consolidate the cooldowns a little bit here. Does have a walk coming up very, very soon. Going to be Ghost Tools available very, very soon. Did walk by Icky to get a little bit of that cooldown reduction on the Fleshcraft as well. So maybe we'll be able to use it later. I think a Battlemaster Trinket used for Chicago as well just now, as Nila is able to get himself a setup of dots. Big mind games to Chicago. Better be careful. Actually, Grounding Totem saving the day. Chicago does not have the red swirl around him. Grounding Totem making a big play just now. Big playmaker by the Enhancement Shaman. And Nila trying to get himself some damage back in Chicago. Does get a Void Form activated. Is that an actual Void Form? Is he getting a second one? Or is that... Did he not get a first Void Form? It looked like he got a second one. Wait. Oh, no. Probably one is an actual Void Form. The other is that one talent that procs, like, Void Form. Right? No. They changed the whole talent. I really don't know, actually. I really don't know. What kind of Void Form is he running? I literally don't remember too much about the Void Form talents. I know there's one that's like you die at the end. I don't think a lot of people use that right now. Then there's one that gives you crit. And then I guess there's the one that is prolonged. Like you can prolong Void Form the more Void Bolts you spend. I could be wrong on that one though. It's gonna be Nilla dropping down another Shadow Crash. Maybe first time you did Void Form. I don't know. Elemental Blast, and you're gonna get an interrupt onto Nilo. Big Wind Strike's coming out. Mind Game's trying to make a play. Greater Fate for Nilo, trying to stay alive. Does have Disperse, but that's not really gonna be much of healing. More like just damage reduction at best. Quick Fear on Chicago, trying to go for yet another Void Form, so he does get quick Void Forms. Unless 1.5 minutes passed that quickly. Am I wrong on that one? Maybe 1.5 minutes passed that quickly. Because it looks like he's getting Void Form often, actually. But I guess 1.5 is a pretty short amount of time. Maybe I'm wrong. What is time? What is time and space continuum? And looks like Chicago gets himself a 5th kill in a row. 1 million healing. 1 million healing for Enhancement Shamans. 1 million. That's crazy. That's crazy. 80% damage Shadowman. Now he heals for what normal Death Strike does. True. Deathers don't have any kind of healing right now, unless you're Blood DK, and you're not going to play that in PvP, most likely. You probably are not playing that in PvP. I don't know, maybe there is somebody that's playing in PvP. You never really know, right? No, you never really know. You just never really know. But that is true. That's very, very true. Alright, boys, let's get another up and running, yeah? Chicago win for a big old 1v5. Man, that healing from the Shaman is hard to beat. It actually had some damage to it. They also did buff the Necrolord Shaman ability for enhancement in particular, because it never really was all that strong. How is it performing right now, though? Wait. US, SL. How many are we at to? Are we in the 90s? We are in the 90s. Running in the 90s. Night King is ready? Alright, Pink T-Rex, if you're ready as well, man, we'll just go again. I'm joining down. Sounds good. Isaac, how you doing, my guy? Hope you're having a good one. Hate OP Shamans? What? Shamans are nowhere near as OP, man. Maybe like Elemental can be kind of like really strong, but I would describe Shamans as OP. You know? What does Enhance have? Good damage and really good healing. Outside of that, they're really squishy. Really squishy. I don't know, man. I'm joining us on Holy DK. Go for it. I don't even bother using Lightning Bolt Primordial Wave. Really? Is it just not worth? Do you just go for a heal? Primordial Wave as a self-heal or something? Is it really that bad? Hold on, let me see some of the sims. Look at Blood Mallet, but Blood Mallet has a little bit of weird build for them. What are the sims for enhancement for Covenants? So, with Blood Mallet, Heimer is actually not that bad. It is a little bit behind Naya, but they are running that Elemental Wolves, Elemental Blast, Non-Doomans Legendary build, which isn't the practical build. You know? I guess what we can do is also go to hero damage, right? Hero damage will give us some numbers. Alright, hero damage. So with hero damage, we can actually take a look at, it's a little bit odd because it doesn't compare covenants against each other. I guess we could look at combinations, right? Enhancement with Wind Fury Totem. So Witch Doctor Bone, so this is Doom Winds. Full Soul Binds. So we can take a look at the ones that show Doom Winds playstyle. Alright, so this is Doom Winds. With Naya, actually, Night Fae Naya is Doom Winds. Apparently, that seems really good. But that gives you about 6982 damage. Remember that number, right? 6982. And if we can find another Naya Doom Winds, I think it'll be okay. Yeah, this says Witch Doctor Bones. Default, it doesn't really make a difference, does it? Yeah, okay, let me find another one that's Doom Winds. If there's one for Hymir. Night Fae. Necrolord, Hymir. So, really about, like, what? 9832. That's a real build. That's a real build. 9832 versus... Okay. Remember this. Calculator. We'll actually do this. No. We'll actually do this on stream. 9835. Right, 9835 versus... What is the highest damage build with Doom Winds? Here we go. 6982. 6982. So it's only 147 damage in Sims, like pure single target, not the perfect number, using their character template, but in a more realistic build with that legendary, about 147 damage difference, which isn't super much. So technically they did, I guess that is Naya too. So technically they did buff the playstyle of Necrolord quite a bit. It's usually be so much at the bottom. So the buff is quite significant. It does bridge the gap though, but it doesn't make things all that better. 4 or 5 people, that sounds good. Yeah, we can get one more for PTRX on the Team Alliance. It'll be good to go, boys. Yeah, heal into Lightning Bolt. So you basically just use Primordial, Lightning Bolt, Primordial Wave via heal into Lightning Bolt. Wait, so can you pop a heal and then heal yourself and it'll duplicate a heal, or is it only going to let you Lightning Bolt things? Heals every 2 globals? Oh, that's really good then. Wait, that's really good then. Well, I'm the Plague guy. Okay, so you are the, well, that's in Sims for like PvE. For PvP, I would imagine it'll be a little bit different, right? Yeah, for PvP, it'll be a little bit different. But then even the difference between the Plague guy and that one. I guess we can go back to hero damage, right? While we're waiting for Pink Cherries to get a +1. 5 out of 5, perfect. We'll get you guys in here. Enhancement, again, PvE damage. Soul Binds. Necrolord, Wind Fury. So it looks like Hymir's pretty good because of that buff with a crit. That seems really good. That seems really, really good with a crit buff. I wonder why it's there twice. Level 1. Why is it there twice? Weird. But Forgeborn doesn't seem that bad either. But Preemptive Strike with the Plague guy. Yeah, I guess the Plague guy is not that good for PvE, but in PvP I would imagine it'd be better. Either way, all I'm saying is like they got him pretty close. Kind of, sort of close. Let's get Night King and PTRX back in there, boys, for another 5v5 1v1 duel. Yo, I'm surprised Chicago 1v5 dude has enhancement. I feel like it's been a bit since we've seen a 1 enhancement. This was with Lightning Bolt? Oh, okay. So I guess you would still end up pressing Lightning Bolt, but you would basically use it for a self-heal. That's still pretty good. That's still a pretty good heal, honestly. But also, I guess you mostly are there to play an elemental anyway, right? So I guess it's serviceable as enhanced. It's okay enough. It's not completely useless, like the Venthyr Rogue, where you would literally not press your Flagellation PvP prior to 9 to 5. Whereas prior to 9 to 5, you played Venthyr, you just didn't press the button. It just wasn't worth it. Like, it's actually a waste of a global, because it does nothing for you. And there are some covenants right now that you just don't press the button because in PvP it's just not good. Like the Mage and Necrolord. Maybe there was a moment where you can to get some big fireball damage, but there's just not a lot of those, you know what I mean? It just would be, you'll basically be playing it for the Necrolord. If you are like trying to, I guess, be competitive with it, you just wouldn't really press it that often, I don't think. But maybe you do. I could be wrong. Maybe you do. Maybe the damage increase it has is actually good enough, actually. Maybe it is. Alrighty, boys. Switch. We got ourselves team... Oh, switching wrong one. So we got ourselves team 1 with Dark Messiah. Gonna be first up on that team is Chill Pills already charging out at Milady. Which one is Milady? Milady! Getting trucked down! No! Not Milady! Oh. Oh, she gone. Oh, that was quick. Chill Pills like, who's next? Oh my god. Oh no, Milady. Didn't live long at all. There goes that, I guess. Flexi gonna be up next on team 2. Before we even get to introduce the rest of the team, Flexi is already up and running, playing that Venthyr Hunter. I do like the Survival Hunters that have switched to Venthyr. Apparently that is looking really good right now. Apparently that's looking solid. Venthyr Survival Hunters is apparently really not bad at all right now. Lichborn available for Chill Pills, as just trying to recoup some healing. That freezing trap is going to slow down the progress though. As Flexing got himself a good corner, good positional, got himself the good kites. And you still play that kiting playstyle as survival even as Venthyr. You would actually have that flayed shot as an extra dot, right? And you would have all the rest of your dots rolling. And you would poke out to get a kill shot, but then you slip away afterwards. You poke out, but you slip away as soon as you get a chance. As you're setting up more traps with Shield Pills. Shield Pills try to avoid him as best as possible. Flayed Shot is getting set back up. And Shield Pills having to sacrifice and make the pact with death. Having to go for a little bit extra health. But the health he can't really heal off of with big many bandages available. Shield Pills does have the AoE fear onto the pet too. Is able to eliminate the pet. Maybe he can get himself a big self-heal somehow out of nowhere. Does try to go for whatever healing he can. And Flexing does go for feign death for a moment. IBF is available for the Death Knight. Icebound 40 to keep him alive. Big rip onto Flexing and does take him out with Alanaria. Alanaria being up next as another Death Knight playing that unholy. Triple's got himself a quick flash scratch as Alanaria tried to go for an interrupt. Gonna be the full armor that Venthyr Alanaria trying to go for the big damage of AoE onto Chill. It does take him out. Chill did come in with not a lot of health to really work with. That is super unfortunate, but not much you can really do. Alanaria does activate the anti-magic shell to try to maybe deal a little bit with Dark Messiah as they got big obliterates running in back to back, trying to go for a bit of self-heals. Alanaria did burn a death back here. It looks like there goes the Lichborn trying to get himself whatever healing they can. Needs that runic power to keep himself afloat and alive. Might need to sacrifice the pet at some point too. Potentially. It looks like Dark Messiah is having to go for self-heal zone as Alanaria got himself a little bit of counter pressure, trying to go for a teleport out of there with the Venthyr ability. It looks like they are going to be able to do so. Wait, no, actually got blinded on it. Didn't get to do so as Dark Messiah took him out. Hawthorne up next as the Shadow Priest. No interrupts available for Dark Messiah. So it was a full Void Torrent, just torrenting damage into the Death Knight. AMS available. Does have a big PI. Mind Games with VT. Trying to go for a Mind Blast. Door of Shadows right after. Nope. I actually decided against the Door of Shadows. Actually, should have maybe went for the Door of Shadows a lot earlier. I think he would have got the death, maybe a Shadowboard death around the corner. As Dark Messiah did catch up on a little bit of health. Death Pact was activated to borrow some of that health from... Who did they borrow the health from? I would say maybe like the God of Death, but like it'll be like Muzal or Bonsamdi, wouldn't it be? The Loa of Death? The Loa of Death. But I guess Death Knights are probably borrowed from the Maw? Aren't Death Knights? Death Knights are basically like Maw-like, Maw-esque, as we found out. So they gotta be borrowing from somewhere. Because they're making a pact with somebody, but who? Hawthorne trying to see if he can create a fade over there. Just uses himself Shadow of Death. Oh no, the Death Knight thought he had a decent setup for a moment. Remedier is gonna be up next, so no greater fate for Hawthorne. Is gonna get that Kyrian setup. Trying to see if he can get a big blasting damage back to Hawthorne. That's going to be Vampiric Touch set up with a Trinket with VTs. More of them getting set up for Hawthorne. So every day just getting free damage on the Shadow Priest. Interrupting him on the Shadows. Hawthorne actually decided to attack the pet for a second. Actually decided to avoid Torin the pet for a moment there. And he might just still be able to do a bunch of damage to the pet. Big Disorient onto Revendair, though, with the Mind Games getting set up right after. Is going to be a big Mind Games for him. Good Disorient too. Where's Revendair? Here he is. Quick Feign Death does get himself quite a bit of health back up, and I think a Battle Master Trinket on top of it too. as he's sicking the pets at Hawthorne. Does have the Greater Fate walking up to the Hunter. Is going to get the fear on the pets, although the kill commands I think still go through. The pets do get caught out of that fear for a moment just to get a big old snip of those mechanical pincers. Are they one of them is at least mechanical. One of them is drill. I guess one does have pincers, the other has literally drills. But the kill command does go through. The pets do get their attack, but then they still go back to fearing for a quick second to break out of it as the Hunter calls to them. And I just figured it out. Remender is actually playing adaptation. I wonder if that'll be good against some of these duels. It actually might not be terrible because it does work for some classes. So Beastmaster with adaptation could actually be not that terrible, as it works out for Atherman all the time. Hawthorne trying to deal with the Pet's Great Fate has been used. Does have PI if needed. Stumble Revendare is going to go for the Disperse. Not want to be knocked out of the game just yet. Only 2 people left on Team 2, and Hawthorne doesn't want to be the next to go just yet. VT's are getting set up on offensive. If anything, that VT is getting quite a bit of resources, man. That's self-heal. That's quite a bit of self-healing. And if he gets any kind of procs from those dots to him, that's also really not bad. Hawthorne Maiden to just get the dots on the pets. Revendare poking around the corner. It does get hit with a stun. Perfect opportunity for Hawthorne to maybe get some damage back up and running. Faint death for Revendare. Does go for a... Hawthorne did go for a Void Torn, but I think on the pet, and he canceled it. I think you're meant to go on the Hunter, and then he realized, oh, I'm just hitting the pet. Maybe hitting the pet might have not been the worst idea either. Is going to run into that freezing trap. Quick fear onto Revendare. Does have that adaptation proc at the perfect time. PI was available for Hawthorne, but looks like maybe it might have got dispelled. Revendare got that line of sight, but looks like Hawthorne isn't in the resonating shot. He's still able to poke around the corner and get some damage here and there, but he's not really able to get the full line of sight damage with that Kyrian. Big Void Storm for Hawthorne, as he's going to go back to eliminating this pets. Actually is going to commit some damage to the pets as well as DPs, which is going to be quite a bit extra health. Although I think his Battle Master Trinket just fell. Is going to get a Mind Games onto Revendare. Cannot go Exhilaration right now. Feign Death to remove that debuff and can Exhilaration later. Going to be a big Void Vampiric Embrace for Hawthorne. Could maybe make something happen here. Stun onto the Shadow Priest. Void Eruption does get interrupted on Hawthorne. Does he have a defensive Greater Fate for a second? Does have Disperse if he needs to. Is going to get a Void Torn. Feign Death available for Revendare. Might have to go for the Disperse right now. It looks like Revendare is actually able to kind of best the Shadow Priest with all these defensives, trying to outplay the Hunter, but Revendare just got so much pressure with those pets and is trying to play up to his strengths as best as possible. That kite, the line of sight of Hawthorne, trying to get them interrupts and the dispels, the constant dispels. Resonant shot, I don't know if that actually made it on Hawthorne. He isn't going to walk back into it though. Trying to get himself a setup onto Revendare, trying to go for a heal, but 60% dampening. It is looking pretty bad. Mind Games onto Revendare. It looks like he's going to heal him a little, but not before Revendare just gets the final snipe out on the Shadow Priest. Wargren up next, does miss. I think he misses. Oh, Marksman Hunter. I was going to play Survival for some reason. Is going to use Scare Beast, and one of the pets of Revendare does drop a freezing trap down. Morgan trying to finish the duel right now with a kill shot. Does get one of them off. Oh, stunned by Revendare. One more arcane shot as though he needs that. I think that was actually a random proc of aim shot. Buff sub, trying to see if he can sprint up for Wargun. Does get the pet out. And there's going to be no trinket available for Wargun. Cheap shot at him into a blind with Wargun going for a knockback. Is Buff sub just like throwing every ability at him? Huh. Flare down, Buff sub not going to get found just yet unless he walks right into the flare. Worgen does not have a trinket, and neither does Buff sub. If Worgen is really careful with his traps, he could deal with this potentially. Buff sub looks like he is playing that vent here. Got the flagellation onto Worgen, but he's not going to be able to get much value off it. Cloak of Shadows was used and should be able to get himself a reset with Shadow Blades too. Maybe early use of Shadow Blades, but he did use them. And Worgen potentially could be maybe okay. It does have a freezing trap available for the Rogue. It does open up with that Shadow Strike though, puts him kind of out in the open, and Worgen is going to get a setup with that Kyrian with a rapid fire. Big damage onto Buff sub, big aim shots right after. Buff sub does not really have a way to deal with this. And Worgen is going to send the pet to keep the Rogue in combat. Does Sheep shot the pet? Or maybe Kitten shot the pet rather? Worgen just needs a little bit more. No, that Shadow Step does go. Ooh, scatter into, freezing trap into, rapid fire. I think Buff sub might be down for the count. If Worgen can just get a line aside of the guy, he'll be good. Does have 100 mark on him. Wait, maybe 100 mark fell. I think the 100 mark faded. I think Buff sub waited long enough for 100 mark to fade when he actually could get a lot of self heal. If he is Soothe in the Darkness, which he just might be. I think he is. Camo from Soothe in the Darkness, walk past each other. Buff sub knows. He just saw Worgen. He knows that he just saw him. Looks like Worgen is going to get himself out of the camo. Does get a slow into the rogue. Explosive shot, rapid fire. That's just going to be so much damage for buffs up to deal with. Does get the Hunter's Mark on him. Cloak not available for 40 more seconds, so will not be able to do much about the Hunter's Mark. Does finish on the pet. The potentially could skulk out of there. Worgen trying to find the angle. Double tap available. Kyrian shot. Missing buffs up. Does get him out in combat for a second. If he just walks into the Kyrian, dude. If he just walks into Kyrian resonant area, he'll be in a good spot. Rapid fire onto the freezing trap. And it looked like he kept firing the shots while in freezing trap. Cheap shot to Wargren. Trinket scatter into a trinket blind. Vanish for buffs up. It's actually using every cooldown here. Oh, I think it's actually over for Wargren. Unless he has something for this. Unless he's set in a freezing trap. I think it's actually over. Unless buffs up just makes the biggest mistake. Get a shot. Gives himself a setup. I guess it was DR, most DR kidney shot ever. That must have been the most DR kidney shot ever. As Morgan is going to get himself a rapid fire around the corner. Buffs up, does have a click of shadows for a Hunter's Mark. Flare coming down, does go for a shadow meld. No Hunter's Mark. Does dip in a camo though, so Buff Sub is not having himself a good time right now. I feel like he had himself the perfect setup. I just wonder what happened with that kidney shot. Because Wargren definitely did not have a trinket for it. Does sap him out? Okay. I feel like Buff Sub has himself a perfect setup. If he's playing that 100% crit Lego, this has to be the kill. There's no way this isn't. Cheap shot into Rupture, into Freezing Trap. Worgen kind of low on health. Still, opportunity for Buff Sub to recover. It's going to be a binding shot for the Rogue. Can't really do much about it. Worgen is going to have the freebie damage with aim shots to follow. If those things crit, that'll be huge. It's going to get himself another aim shot. Buff Sub is in a bad spot. Kill shot right after. Without even having to see his target. Which is still nutty. That's a playstyle. Big scatter onto Chicago. It's Worgen trying to reposition. It's going to have to deal with an elemental shaman. 41% dampening, but for Chicago, that's still plenty of self-healing available. Plenty of self-heal still going to be up and running. Worgen does feign death. The Ghost Wolves for a second. Will need to go for Freezing Trap onto Chicago. Does land a trinket available. It does have a knockback trap for Chicago with Turtle Shell trying to get away from the Ghost Wolves as well as the Earthen Elemental. With a camo. Wait. Oh no. He's trying to go for a camo. But the Earth Elemental is already aggro to the pet and is just beating up on him the whole time. You're not going to be able to stop him. Yeah, for Worgen, this is going to be a tough one, man. It's going to go for that sippy cup from Kyrian by the looks of it. And a feign death mount up. The pet is still in combat. But at least he's mounted up. That's going to be impossible, I think. Because Chicago just needs to get like one whiff of you for like a quick second. And it's over. You know what I mean? Worgen is running mechanical soulbind so stuns are reduced. Really? Oh, I didn't realize it. Wait a second. That's actually awesome. I was going to say for a second, like, how did that rogue kidney shot was so DR'd? But you're right. Wait, that's actually insane. Wait, then the sub-rogue, you actually want to open up with a, you have to open up with a Shadow Strike. You have to open up with a Shadow Strike then. You can't open up with a kidney shot. It'll just go to waste. Wait, that's crazy. By how much are they reduced? 35%? 50? Because it looked like he got like a 1.5 second kidney shot on him. That's crazy. I didn't even realize it. Wait, that's actually so good for PvP. Even though Mechanicos is for the most part sims really poorly in PvE, like in Dungeons and Raids, it's really good in PvP apparently. I like that. And Chicago trying to find an angle onto Worgen. Does see him. Flame Shock does connect. Worgen's gonna have to go for like a really, really cheesy setup with a resonating shot. Scarab Beast onto Chicago while they're in Ghost Wolf or Ghost Raptor. I actually like how that works. I actually really like how that works. Looks like we're going to setting something up. Resonant Shadow is available. It's a big rapid fire onto Chicago. Try to go for Fleshcraft. Can't get interrupted on it, but the healing surges are going to come out. So he actually almost took no damage there. Wall was used as well. Still firing up those aim shots at Chicago, but that Astral Shift keeping the Shaman afloat and roaming. Chicago still has plenty of healing and feature 5% dampening. Although take a look at Worgen's health, he is recovering little by little, still able to get some pokes over at Chicago. He is recovering little by little, gonna get himself a sippy cup, and he is actually getting a big value of sippy cup since he's a hunter and he got all that CC. We can go for resets. He's actually putting his sippy cup off of CD, and I think while you're in combat you can use sippy cup, but if you ever get out of combat, I think it goes in like a 1 minute CD like a Warlock Hellstone. So after a minute he can use it again. So it's actually kind of good. It's actually kind of huge because he's actually getting that like sippy cup increases. Doesn't Mechanicos also give you like extra healing over time. It's like you get healing as a lot more healing, but it's over time. Because that'd be actually huge if that's what he is getting here too. Because I don't really remember what else Mechanicus has. I know Mechanicus has a thing where when you drop low, you can stun enemies in an AoE area. Some of you guys have used it in duels. But besides that stun reduction, like actually reducing the duration of stuns, I completely forgot, to be honest. Chicago tried to find himself a better angle. And that's going to be Mechanicus bot Braun actually doing damage to Wargren through walls. Which is kind of funky. Big aim shots available for Wargren. Chicago trying to beat themselves up. Big ascendance available. Scatter shot for Wargren. Just trying to create as much range between him and Chicago as best as they can. The wind strikes are still flying, still going through. Wargren does chase Chicago, or at least run away from Chicago, leaving him with a rapid fire. And Chicago can use their own line of sight actually just to get himself caught up. 64% dampening 15 minutes into this duel. Wargren, I feel like, is going to need to commit some big damage onto Chicago at some point if he wants to win this. Chicago doesn't have a wall for a bit, does not have offensive cooldowns for a bit except for Ghost Wolves. So I think he will want to probably commit some CDs and maybe lots of kiting to get a lot of line of sight damage on Chicago. I know you can do a lot of like no line of sight rapid fire, but I think to take out Chicago, you will not be able to just kite him the whole time. I think you will need to sit on him and put as much pressure and as much damage on him as you can. I do like the bike model, by the way. It looks good. Does that thing cost like 100,000 gold though? I guess it's not that expensive nowadays. Because most people have like plenty of gold. Wargren kind of charging at Chicago as they're gonna sit behind, kind of next to a corner, dropping down the. Was that a grounding totem for a second? No. Actually, gonna use the sprint out of the enhancing shot, but not getting rooted at all. Big charge to Wargren, does get that sundering. And Wargren with a feint death as the Ghostos are up and running with a turtle trap. Or turtle shell right afterwards, knocking back Chicago for a second. Just needs to survive the wolves, but I think they could go for some big damage on Chicago. I think they will have to be a little bit more aggressive and really just get themselves as much damage to Chicago. That means not being completely out of line of sight, but I think max ranging Chicago and doing the most damage, I think, is the play. Actually, I don't even know if those rapid fires did damage. I think he wasn't even facing Chicago, even looking at the wall just now. Chicago, maybe? I was going to say maybe Chicago's going to run into that trap, but maybe the Earth Elemental can walk over, triple the traps before Chicago gets over there. Yeah, I feel like Wargren cannot play the line of sight game the whole time. I feel like eventually he just loses. Because Wargren has 0 healing, Chicago at least has some kind of healing. So eventually I think Wargren will have to get roots and freezes on Chicago and just max range him. Not even as much line of sight, but just max range Chicago. Except for the Kyrian burst. Like, I feel like that's where he has a nice setup, is with the Kyrian setup. Try to drop traps down for Chicago. It's actually going to get kind of a small charge. I think maybe avoiding the resonance shot for the most part. Big aim shots coming in for Wargren. Actually getting some damage into Chicago. Does activate a wall. Does he get interrupted? It's going to be a totem getting taken out. I don't know if it was I think maybe Counter-Strike totem? Chicago tried to see if he can set up maybe a bit of a damage in there with their elemental blast, but looks like he decided against it. Went for a flash craft instead, still just walking at Wargren as he's finally creating himself some no line of sight. Max range Chicago, but he's finally able to get quite a bit of damage. Sees that ascendance, maybe now is the time to run, but rather I think it's a better time to kind of limit Chicago's self heals. Chicago not walking out of there. He knows there's a trap out there, so he might as well catch up on as much health as possible. And Wargren has a perfect angle to get some damage onto Chicago. It looks like Chicago is going to try to see if they can bait the hunter into the room. As Wargren is catching up on a bit of healing, Chicago is too. 82% dampening. And it's going to be basically 0 healing eventually for Wargren. Chicago, I think, is going to have some heals, if anything. They just have way too much healing. That Maelstrom buffs he heals so much. I feel like it's going to be more value than what Wargren can get. Is going to get himself an interrupt onto Chicago. Big old freezing trap on top of it. Massive damage, wombo combo, big aim shots. Wargren just needs to end it and does take him out. I knew you had to get aggressive at some point if you wanted to win that one. That was a pretty good duel. Everybody got to play, dude. And Wargren actually got 3 kills. Crazy. I guess not wrong. That was actually kind of nuts. That was actually kind of nuts. The only way to beat Chicago is 70% dampening, possibly 80. Well, Chicago was doing really well last duel when it was pretty high in dampening. It was a pretty long one. I guess this duel was even longer, wasn't it? Wow, 20 minutes. That's crazy. I'm definitely going to have to edit this one, man. Definitely going to have to edit all the long parts because I can't upload a 20-minute duel, dude. No. Sorry for a long duel. Yeah, you got to play how you got to play. You gotta play how you gotta play. But I told you, like, I feel like when you get aggressive, when you really start pushing in and putting pressure, you will definitely get it. I knew you will definitely get it, and you did. The patient game played off. Yeah, I know, right? I feel like what sucks is if you have a patient game and then you win that game. What sucks is for viewers, and what people hate is when somebody prolongs the game and they lose in the end, because then it's just like you're just delaying the inevitable. You know what I mean? Like, most players, like, if you're delaying the inevitable, like, just run in there and what happens happens. You know, most viewers prefer that, and I kind of do too. But those games when somebody delays and then know they can win, those are for the most part fine. Most people are okay with it. You know, it's just the ones where it's like you delay, and everybody's like, I feel like you're just delaying the inevitable, and then they die in the end anyway. And it's just like, oh my god. That's the ones that are the worst. But that was good, man. That was good. You gotta play. Hey, you gotta play how you gotta play. You know what I mean? You're playing to win. You gotta play how you gotta play. Not much you can really do about it. You're not trying to run out and just get slapped. You're trying to win these duels, man. You know what I mean? If they go long, they go long. Hey, what can you do about it? What you gonna do about it? You know what I mean? What you gonna do about it? Blackrock Hole, boys. Let's go. Let's go. Sometimes it pays off. Yeah, sometimes it has a big payoff to it. All right, I think it's time to crack a cold one with the boys. Oh, that was good. I got the burp, so man. Switch. We got some switch ups on team 2 with Hawthorne still sticking to that Shadow Priest. We got ourselves Danny as a Beastmaster Hunter. Got 2 of these stitchy, fleshy beasts. Wow, wait, one of them is missing like part of a jaw. Actually, even a nose. Crazy. We got ourselves Devil Pox as an assassination Mentir, dude. Yo, what are them legs, dude? What are them legs? Why can't I see your calves between those boots? That looks a little funky. It looks kind of okay right here. And they could just see those manly calves. Got ourselves Darkus, I guess, and War Grand. And it looks like Ravender is going to be first up on the team, as Team 2 is still trying to figure out who's going to be going first, who's going to go last. It looks like it's going to be Danny versus Ravender. BM versus BM. Who's going to BM each other the most? BM as in Beastmaster, but also maybe BM as in Bad Manners. And Danny's taking a bit of damage with those kill shots back to back. He's going to have to go for a heal and a turtle. Just kind of stuck in place. Can't really go anywhere. So he's going to have to pop defenses a little bit early. Second his pets onto Revender's pets, but Revender catches that stun as Danny is just continuing to kite, trying to get those pets off of him. Is going to go for some bestial rats, and he's going to have to get his pets onto Revender. But Danny's a little bit behind. He's going to have to go for whatever heals he can. Whatever pet heals he can. I don't know if his pet's due for a heal. Danny's super low in health, and a kill shot is going to take him out. Revender just needs to take down the seed pod, which shouldn't be difficult for a beast mastery. The pet should do enough damage. It's kind of funny that Danny could actually still control his pets. I guess he could stick those pets to Revender. If only those pets had like some kind of a CC. Kind of like... Because I'm pretty sure you can cast a kill command while you're CC'd as a hunter. I know as a Demonology Warlock, you can use your pet stun with the axe toss, because the pet stun is kind of like separate from your character. So like if you get silenced or CC'd, your pet can still do stuff and you can still command them. But hunters, I guess they gotta hear the hunter's call to command them. Maybe that's like the lore explanation for it. Looks like Devil is getting opened up on by Revender. Did force a trinket out of the hunter, as Revender did go for a full Kirin resonance shot. Devil is looking for a setup. Playing Necrolord. Wait, you're not even Mentir. You're a Necrolord. I say a Mog, and I was like, has to be Necrolord. Look at his Mog. Look at the back. But he is serrated bone spike. Got this serrated bone spike with one of the pets, and eventually those pets are going to melt. He's going to be able to get him some big slaps on the pets, and that's going to be a bone spike on Revender as well. Big stun onto Devil. I think he used a human racial for it. He did to break out of it. Stun onto Revender, trying to make as much damage happen. Is it going to be a big vendetta? It's going to be big vendetta. With the Cloak of Shadows, Revender does not have a defensive deal with this. Does have damage though. Going to be more spikes on Revender. There's going to be an evasion available for Devil Pox. Revender just needs to wait out until evasion is down. He might be able to do something here. Got some of the pets of the smoke bomb with Devil. Use that kill shot ASAP. And that kill shot does so much damage. Taking him out. Devil barely got to play there. I think Revenant actually uses Void of Racial, which I didn't even notice for a second until later, to kind of sneak around behind the rogue. Just sneaking around him and is getting clapped down by Hawthorne. Doesn't really have any self-heals. Might need to go for a defensive as Hawthorne just got so much pressure on him. Big PIs available for the Shadow Priest, and that's going to be more Void Bolts and Void Bolts for days. And Revenant does get taken out with Buff Sub up next. Quick disperse by Hawthorne. Is that a big damage for Buff Sub with maybe the Venthyr? Flagellation? Didn't do it. He's gonna go for a bit of a Shadowlands if necessary. But damn, Devil, dude, he came out trying to see if he can make Assassination work. And then Revenant just kind of snuck behind him. He threw the Void thing, the Void of Racial, to kind of sneak away from the side of the pillar and then ported to it and get some freebie shots on the guy. That Vendetta was as good as it could be. And then evasion, and then you're just hoping like maybe I can kill it. Just an all-in strat. And there's just not much you can do about it. You either get it or you don't. Hawthorne not picking up, actually picked up the eyes the last second, does get a stun on the Buff Sub. It's going to be tricky for him immediately. Trying to go for an interrupt. Looks like the interrupt has not been used by Buff Sub just yet. But a Cloak of Shadows has been instead. Holding out for his interrupt for later. Big cheap shot onto Hawthorne. Does get a fear into Buff Sub. Hoping for a bit of a self-heals. Mind Games does get applied. Shadow Mend. Intro restealth for Buff Sub. Does get the interrupt on the selfie for Hawthorne. Trying to pressure the Shadow Priest. But the Shadow Priest is the one putting the pressure. One that's getting all those DPs, all the pains on the rogue. Trying to bring in the pain maybe with a teleport from Venthyr. Gonna be a shadowy duel by Buff Sub. Oh no. What, is he still dying? I think he's still dying to nuts. Wait, Hawthorne? Oh, Hawthorne looked at the right time. Apparently that rogue was still getting dotted up by something. Now, normally we don't really like it when sub-rogues use a shadowy duel on another person because it's basically a free vanish. And we feel like sub-rogues have enough survivability and damage where they don't really need to do so. So while I'm not a huge fan of how the rogue played that, you know, I mean, the priest still won, so I guess it can't really be all that bad. You know what I mean? Gonna be Dark Messiah just trying to deal with Hawthorne. Hawthorne is fully healthy, and Dark Messiah is the one kind of low. Quick fear by Dark Messiah playing that Necrolord onto Hawthorne, trying to go for a bit of a flesh cast. Silence by Hawthorne, and Dark Messiah cannot interrupt him while silence. There goes the silence, there goes the interrupt. As the silence wears off, and Hawthorne just needs to flay the mind just a little bit longer. What? Second fear? Wait, how often can you use that Dark Messiah? How often can you use that fear thing? Because you use it twice in a row. I don't think that's normal. How does he use it twice in a row? Is that a bug? Interesting. Interesting. Gonna be big rippy hand available for Chill Pills, and Hawthorne is gonna have to fight his way through yet another Frost DK. Greater Fate for a second, trying to go for heals, and Chill Pills does not have an interrupt, but he's got all that power, all that unholy might, unholy strength of Frost, with a massive, the pillar of the community, the pillar of Frost. My man's big Mind Games trying to come out. Chill Pills is gonna get hit by it, trying to go Flesh Cup. Flesh Cup does not get reduced with Mind Games, which is really good for him. That's going to give him quite a bit of self-heals. Into a Legendborn right afterwards. Needs to go for a bit of self-heals. Does get a fear onto Hawthorne. Hawthorne is the priest here. How is he the one getting feared? And Chupas actually went for an interrupt on a... what's the word? He went for an interrupt on... What am I trying to say? Crap. Interrupt on the Shackle Undead. Because Chilpas went for a Lichborn, which technically makes him an undead. And if you shackle undead on a DK with Lichborn, you actually stun him, which Hawthorne, I think, did that the first time to Chilpas and then won the duel because of that. It was a massive amount of CC. It's a full stun. I don't know if it makes a damage, but I'm pretty sure it's a stun. Or if it is a CC, kind of like a blind, it did use it to kind of win the duel for certain. Big Void Eruption, Void Form activated. Chilpas trying to recover whatever health he can. No more defenses left. Does send out the dragon. Does a bit of damage to Hawthorne. Sorry for the call, boys. Sorry. Choke my own spit. It happens quite often when I do these duels. Mind Games on the Chill Pills with an execute with the Death Pact. Oh no. Silence on the Chicago as they're coming out of the woodworks And it's going to go for big Ascendance. Interrupt in a moment on Shadow, but it's going to be a pretty short interrupt. Quick Fear on Chicago does burn a trinket for it. That's going to be a mind control with Hawthorne, just trying to park Chicago kind of in the corner while the Ascendance is up. Stun to rotate right after him. And it's going to have himself some line of sight. Self-heals available. It's 8 minutes in this duel. 80% dampening, boys. Hawthorne just dominating as a Shadow Priest right now, man. I really like his staff too, by the way. I really like that staff with like a skull and there's roses at the end of it. Looks so good, man. Looks so good. What's up, Boomtown? How you doing, man? Hope you're having a good one, my dude. Big board for Hawthorne, just trying to get the hell out of there. And Chicago is going to be summoning up the Earth Elemental. He's going to summon the elements for this one. I do like that Necrolord look he's got going on, like with the bones on the back and bones on his like robe. It looks so good in my opinion. I think it looks, and even the weapons too, they're just, everything's bony. I love it. I absolutely love it. Hawthorne landing that stun into a big old Mind Games Void Eruption. Lots of bursts out of Chicago. Has to find a way to deal with this. Did drop down the grounding for the Void Eruption, or maybe the Void Bolt that follows it. But still is going to be able to get a slow onto Hawthorne and get some recovery. Only 24% dampening into this duel. And it looks like Chicago is just going to have to wait until they have some big cooldowns available for Hawthorne. Does drop down the Counter-Strike Totem. Is that thing even hitting Hawthorne? I think he was out of line of sight of it for a second. So as long as he line of sight of the totem, he'll be... Or actually, can you line of sight of the totem? I don't know if you can. I don't think line of sight of the totem does anything, to be honest. I don't think it does. I could be wrong. Granted, I could be wrong. Big PI getting ripped off by Chicago as Hawthorne is going to be losing out on that one offensive ability. Big Mind Games into Chicago, though. Going to put quite a bit of pressure. Chicago cannot go for any kind of self-heals while it's up. Might as well go for damage, I think, at that point, because Hawthorne's already at full health anyway. You might as well smack him with whatever you can. Go in and just go for a Storm Strike. The faster you get rid of the Mind Games, the faster you can heal yourself, right? Plus, that'll build you up some Maelstrom. And that's going to be tucking tail and running that Ghost Wolf, Ghost Raptor form as Hawthorne does get himself the Void Eruption. Looks like Void Eruption is just that short of a CD. I'm just not used to it at all. 1.5 minutes. Did drop down the grounding for that Mind Blast. Interrupting Hawthorne. It's trying to go for a bit of a self-heals. It goes the Sundering as Chicago finally gets up close and melee. Is going to get himself a bit of a self-heal or two rolling. Trying to deal with Hawthorne. Trying to get an Elemental Blast up and running with a Silence, though. Not much you can really do in that situation. Super unfortunate. The big unfortunate. And a stun right after. Mind Games trinkets it, though. Trying to see if he might be able to play defensively, I guess. I was thinking maybe he was going to try to trinket, interrupt Hawthorne, and then maybe get aggressive with him. I was thinking that was going to be the play. Like a surprise. Kind of like when you're a rogue and there's a druid next to you. And he bashes you and he's about to cyclone you and you have 5 common points. You can go for a trinket kidney shot or trinket interrupt. They can sometimes surprise enemies and maybe win you the game if you can follow up CC right after. I was thinking that's kind of what was going to happen, but apparently not. Hawthorne still just trying to find the opportunity to take down Chicago, but the healing is quite strong at 36% dampening. Chicago is still able to maintain themselves quite a bit. Is going to go in with that Sundering Ascendance rolling out. Does get hit with a Silence. I believe certain abilities are locked out for him, like that Interrupt. I don't think he can interrupt when you silence, which is super unfortunate. He also can't heal himself when that happens. I think Wind Strikes are still usable, though, so you could use Wind Strikes in order to bust through that Mind Games, but decided against it. Decided to play it a little bit more safe. And Hawthorne so far has been a very, very lively this duel. Very lively as a Shadow Priest. Extremely lively, in fact. Like, he's been in a great spot. Great dominant position. Interrupt by Chicago onto Hawthorne. Trying to go for a bit of Elemental Blast. That did a bit of damage, though, but Hawthorne got some damage of his own. Void Eruption is available. Has PI if he can make it work. I think if he can go for a PI and then a CC chain on Chicago, he might be able to make some damage happen out of it. I think that's how Hawthorne will have to play PI. Is to go CC chain while PI is up, so he can get some kind of CC on Chicago. Make the most damage happen. Mind is available. Maybe putting pressure on Chicago. Just need to stay next to Chicago the whole time. Trying to Mind Flay. But is that going to do enough damage? Chicago just waiting out until the Mind Games is over. Shadow or Death needs to happen for Hawthorne. Otherwise, it's going to be really tough. Try to get more DPs, more dots on Chicago. But they still have plenty of healing, man. Actually able to get a lot of healing, even without Maelstrom. So with Maelstrom, it's even better. And Chicago is actually kind of running dry on mana. Kind of running low. Does have a wall for this, but it is running kind of dry. So it needs to be very, very careful with his mana at this point, because you need Maelstrom to make the most value of your self-heals. And I think you might have to go for Lightning Bolts at this point. Like, I know it's like not the best situation, and you kind of want to go for self heals. But I think you will at some point need to go for lightning bolts because those don't cost that much mana at all. Big PI available for Hawthorne. Drink at 4. Chicago trying to interrupt him. Is he going to try to see if he can purge him? Silence comes out, so Hawthorne should be able to hold on to his buffs for a little bit longer. Trying to go for that mobility, skirting around with void bolts. Skirting around to try to catch up to Chicago. Great Fate just to catch up so he can apply even more pressure with those DPs. And Chicago is back with a little bit of mana, just a smidge of mana, enough to keep himself afloat. Flashcraft right after. No sounds available for Hawthorne. Trying to get himself some dots, but Chicago gets that interrupt. And Chicago gets some cooldowns coming up in about 30. If he can just live for a bit, he might be okay. Actually taking my advice here and trying to blast through Hawthorne while the mind games is up. It does give Hawthorne just a slight bit of heals, but he's basically full health anyway. So at least Chicago is able to get himself a bit of Maelstrom. Primordial Wave used for a bit of a self heal. Could go for a big heal. Silence coming out though. Super unfortunate. Mind games. Do they live with the dots in them? Does Hawthorne have a stun to follow? I don't think he does. Does he maybe have a fear? Oh my goodness, fear. It's a Shadow or Death, but the grounding shadow was there to save the day. Into an interim. Chicago actually lives it. Chicago actually survives. That grounding shadow was so good. Otherwise, it could have been really, really bad. Really, really bad. Oh my goodness, Chicago. That was so clutch. Maybe my advice wasn't that good. Just go for that full-on blasted damage. That grounding totem saved you though. That was so good. Mind games does go for an intro, but the mind game still went off. Now how does that work? Unless maybe he had a cast ability after the mind games. Big ascendance is available as a shaman. I think he might be trying to go for all in. Does get the stun to Hawthorne. Probably going to be a disperse here. Trying to go for Silence Chicago with the stun right after. Does he have enough? I think a Mind Blast is going to get him. Man, he decided not to even go for a disperse. 1 million damage on this guy. Well, damn. This Shadow Priest, man. 1 million, 1v5. Let's go, boys. Let's go, dude. I do like that. That was good. Shadow Priest 1v5, man. Don't see a lot of that. Again, another game where it's like 15 minutes, boys. These games are so long. I mean, EU had some really long games too yesterday, didn't they? Like really, really long ones. Never get short games anymore, dude. I remember back, it's the most burstiest expansion, right? In a long time. And we get in some of the longest games because people are just fighting tooth and nail, man. Where the monks at? I have no idea. We had monks yesterday on EU. To be fair. To be fair. We have any groups in EU or no? If you want to maybe set something up, Sykes, we have only 2 on NA. I wouldn't be against doing some on EU. Breeze getting it done. Boomtown, hope you're having a good one, by the way, my guy. Yeah, dude. Big 1v5. Demon Hunter kind of switch PvP. Yeah, they have a glass cannon playstyle, though. Demon Hunters do a ton of damage. But yeah, pretty glass cannon. But really, a cannon. Like you do damn, but you take damn. Just in healing, like BFA Legion would be more viable. I feel like they'll be better with they'll probably scale with better gear. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna make them super like Live Lord McGee. But I think they will get stronger with better gear though in the next tiers. That's for sure. That was rough. That was a rough game, wasn't it, Hawthorne? Who's better, Demonology or Affliction? Depends. I think Affliction is the best for like most PvE content for raids and dungeons. It's also gonna be really good for PvP. But I think Demonology has some uses inside of Mythic Pluses as well as in raids. Like, it's not the popular spec right now, but I think it can compete and do well. Got that clean restyle that I have been getting Zil back and beat Hawthorne, dude. Yeah, that's rough, man. Maybe. For VM Launcher? Come on, dude. Come on. Pink Chair Exeter group? Alright, we'll see if Nike has a group available, man. Or if he wants to swap some people out. I'm not letting you get that. Hawthorne is pretty unkillable. Dude, Hawthorne is insane. Pretty nutty, honestly. Shadow Priest outbrawls Death Knight 22 and colorized. Oh no. Yeah, Shadow Priest, dude. They are nutty right now. They're actually nutty. Hey, Dalaran, a huge fan of watching videos daily, trying to figure out what class I want to level next. Keep up the content, my guy. Yo, Ball Beauty Zach, how you doing, my man? Hope you're having a good one, Zach. Glad you like it, man. What class are you thinking of, dude? What do you got? What do you got on your table? I'll tell you what I like out of those ones. What are the classes you're thinking of, Zach? And I'll let you know which ones I like, dude. Maybe me and you have the same taste. I think Destruction Warlock currently, they're pretty good. They're not bad. They have like a playstyle. So there's a couple different. I mean, I think they're serviceable, right? I think they'll get better with better gear, but they're not bad. I don't think that shit is bad. They're not doing like damage of a survival hunter in PvE, which survival hunters can do well. It's just most community perception is like they're not good. Another Desert could do quite good in PvP though, like the nutty chaos bolts. If you go for that legendary where your chaos bolt empowers your future chaos bolts within 3 seconds, and if you go for double chaos bolt, it's really one shot, literally a one shot. It's kind of nuts. In PvE, they actually have a pretty fun playstyle. It's a lot. You get the conflag Lego, so you can conflagrate multiple times, and you do extra fire damage whenever you conflag enemies. So you basically beef up your single target, and it's also pretty good on AoE too. They have a couple cool talents too, and yeah, and they work pretty well with Necrolords as well. Let me actually sim them so you can see what kind of like covenants they can run. I think Blood Mallet actually has the like actual realistic builds too, like what the actual run for single target. I'm pretty sure they're all pretty close except for Kyrian maybe, but I could be wrong. Night Phase is going to be really strong for Destro, but Destruction right here. You can see the character profile. This is like pure single target build, right? But they basically that's actually what you would run for pure single target. So it's not like cheesy single target. And actually you would run Legendary where your primary demon has a chance to empower you, and you have a chance to empower your demon. So forget about that Lego, but that's a pretty good one. You got Bonesmith in there. As a pretty good covenant actually. You got Naya, which is Night Fae. Karen is really not that bad either. Vantia is the only one that I think is kind of... I don't know how I feel about that one. I don't know if it's that good, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's not bad at all. We do have Dauntless Duelist and Ashen Remains. Actually, I was thinking Ashen Remains was their covenant ability, but I guess not. But yeah, you can go Dauntless Duelist from Najee. It's not terrible. So you kind of have options of covenants. But I think the Ventier and Kirin are not as good. I really think it would like either the mobility for Night Fae or Necrolord. I think we'd like those two. I like Necrolord myself personally. They have a Heimer, Arsenal, Morrow, Gemstone. After landing 10 crits, you gain 80% critical chance with Chaos Bolts. It's really good. I got a level 60 Ellie and a 60 Mage currently. I was thinking about leveling a melee to get into the train. I have a 21 two-hand Frost DK, a Sub-Rogue, Hunter, Warrior, Demon Hunter, Druid, Monk. Out of those, I think the fun ones are going to be Rogue, Death Knight. Two-hand Death Knight actually works really well right now. It's really good. Most people will play in Holy for like raids, but Frost can work. Trust me when I say this. I'm playing one as a Night Fair right now. It is so good. And you can play any Covenant too. Literally any Covenant is Frost. But two-hand Frost is super fun. Rogue is really good. Warrior is also pretty good. We could play Monks are also pretty good too. You can play whatever you want of them, honestly. All of them are pretty close, but if I had the recommendation, Death Knight, Rogue, Monk, Warrior, that would be mine. Druid is really not bad. Not as many Pharaohs out there, but it's really not bad at all. But there's definitely not a lot of Pharaohs. Night King says you got a surprise for me. Alright boys, let's go get another one up and running, yeah? Hopefully I saved this one. I think I did. I'm gonna make sure I saved it just in case. I think I did do a duo. It'll be okay. Alrighty boys, let's see who we got. Switch. Wait, what? Where's Night King at? Wait, is that Night King? Are you on your Paladin, Night King? Articulous? Is that Night King? Wait a second, you're a Paladin now. Same mog and everything. Okay, apparently Night King has a Paladin. I didn't know that. We got ourselves Chicago in that team, Revendare, Peachy in the back, as well as Dark Messiah. Still sticking to that on... Oh no, he's Frost. I was thinking still unholy. I do like that weapon though. I wish I had this skin from a Frost DK. That would look so good. But also got on the other team, we got us as Hawthorne, and another Sharpers joining the fight. We got Shaq with DV Pox going out as an Outlaw Rogue. Interesting. We have Dark House. Don't forget to play last time, and Wargren. And DV Pox walking up to Revendare is going to try to see if he can get a couple pistol shots in there. It's going to be that resonant arrow going around the corner. Deviant is going to have to find a way to deal with the damage. Evasion is being used by the rogue. Try to see if he can face Revender as well as the pets. It's going to turn the attention to the pets and actually get him mastery hits every time he dodges one of the pets. Blind and Revender forcing out adaptation is going to have to go with a big damage right afterwards, trying to make the most damage happen. Killing Spree right afterwards. And was that a Dreadblades too? Did he use Dreadblades there, or was that no Dreadblades burst? And that's going to be Revender actually catching him around the corner with a Void Elf shadowy thing. But a kill shots are coming through. Kill shots into a... Oh. An unfortunate cheat death. Couldn't cheat the death. The kill shot went through. Was he playing with Dreadblades, by the way? I couldn't tell if he was playing Dreadblades or not. Or maybe he wasn't playing Dreadblades as an outlaw. I wonder how outlaw in PvP as an Necrolord work, because it seems really well in PvE. Gonna be Dark Horse popping into stealth, not going up against Revender just yet. And Revender might have to wait on top of the freezing trap. Is gonna be Kamoke right after, no way for him to stop it. Is he live the Kamoke? Wait, Dark Horse, for some reason he was just wrathing the enemy team, Revender's team. He wasn't even biting Revender. I don't know what happened, but for some reason he just damage just went to other people altogether. Just started wrathing everybody. The whole Convoke. Oh my god, the whole Convoke got borked. I don't know what happened. But Dark Horse now is a little bit behind. He's on a back foot. Had to pop a wall there. I believe in a bark skin. I'm not sure what happened. Traps meeting him on either side with Revender trying to see if he could reposition Hunter's Mark on the pet with a Scarab V, seeing if he might be able to swap out of form. And he potentially could go for a Kyrian setup. Is going to get those pets beefed up, frenzied, getting the auto attacks to do more. Could maybe go for a stun. Does he have it? Hibernate on one of the pets right after. I don't even know if he hibernated the main pet. He might have hibernated the main pet, maybe not. Actually going to Cyclone the pet instead. Is that the main pet? Because if he does, then Revender will not be able to use a stun into Dark Horse. Throwing down a freezing trap he knows he doesn't want to walk into. The camera that does let him out. But one of the pets is not invisible. One of the pets is not camoed. So actually Dark Horse can see exactly where he's at. Actually could see where he's at based on the pet. If he's paying attention. Is there a Hunter's Mark on him? Not anymore. Hunter's Mark lasts for like, what, 30 seconds now? 15 seconds? I really couldn't tell. His calves couldn't save him. Yeah, the rogues and his calves. What's the rogue at, dude? He does have nice calves. Look at him. He tried his best, dude. I like it when people try Outlaw. It's just... Lots of people don't know exactly how do you build for Outlaw PvP. So there's a perception in community that Outlaw is non-playable in PvP. When there's literally people playing in 2200 and even 2700. Just most players don't really know how to properly set up Outlaw for PvP. So then it's like, oh, since I don't know how to do it, then must be not, it's not good at all. You know what I mean? Nobody looks at the guys anymore, man. Nobody actually looks at the guys. I put them up all the time. There's guys out there too, dude. Just nobody looks at them and it's like, ah, it doesn't work for me. Must be bad. Gonna be Dark Horse walking through the trap, stepped his toes into some tar. Maybe Freezing Trap stops him. Does stop him. Shrink us out of it, trying to see if he can commit some damage into Revender, who's gonna disengage out of there. Has some freebie damage onto Dark Horse. Does Thorns do damage back to him every time he shoots him? I think Thorns does apply to the Hunter damage when you shoot him from distance, which is kind of weird. Unless there's Bleed sticking down on him. Revender is gonna go for a Feign Death, cleaning most of the dots and the enemy effects off of him, setting up some traps on the side, walking at Dark Horse, who is going to get a bash on him. Big Convoke. Does he get the Convoke off this time? Kind of, sort of. I feel like that Convoke attacked the pets more than the Hunter, for one reason or another. But Dark Horse does find himself kind of low on health, not in the best spot possible. Trying to see if he can bear the damage. Oh, this damage is unbearable, guys. I feel like the joke has been overused way too many times at this point. More traps getting set up. Quick maim onto Revender. Does have adaptation for it. That's going to be the Void Elf Rachel to reposition out of there. Does he have the Kyrian set up? He is going to have a binding shot on the Dark Horse. So it's going to kind of disrupt him. Stutter him a little, if you may. Big Kyrian shot. Get it set up. Wall available for Dark Horse with a roar. And Revender still might be able to maybe get an interrupt on Dark Horse. I don't know if... I guess maybe he was out of the Resonant Shot long enough where you lose the effect. Because when you dip your toes in Resonant Shot, you have like a debuff where you can still gain the effects of Resonant Shot, like the see-through the wall kind of thing. for a moment. It's going to go for a cyclone, at least attempted to cyclone one of the pets, but a stun is going to lock him down. Does have an emergency heal available with a freeze trap. Striking a pose as Dark Horse is looking for way big mobility to get the hell out of there. Revender going for an aggressive disengage, and Dark Horse does catch up on a little bit of health in the back. It's going to be a freezing trap on one side and a charge trap on the other. Dark Horse still under quite a bit of pressure. Big heals because he is a druid without frenzy or regen, but he is still under quite a bit of pressure. Pretty sure the pets for Revender do have a mortal strike effect, so they are reducing the healing the Dark Horse is getting anytime he does heal himself. But he does have a lot of regrows he can throw around back to back. Big resonant shot available for Revender. Could maybe do lots of damage to Dark Horse. Thorns is all he has with the Bardic Skin. Kill shot does go through, and the Hunter takes down the hunted druid. With Shaq Snack Attack up next. I do like that little... Oh, you got a purple one. I only have the black one. You have the purple Paracel. I have the black one. And I think there's a crimson one too. Or is there a brown one? Hold on, how many Paracels are there? I know there's the one I have is the black one. Then there's this purple one. And I think there's one more, right? Where do you get the others? I really like that from the Venthyr. Technically, anybody of any covenant can have one. But on Venthyr, it just looks so classy. Because in Venthyr, already most of your gear looks like suit jackets and like the whole Transylvania style, you know, attire. So you just look extra fancy. It looks so good. There's going to be big stun on to Revender. Who is going to go for a turtle show pretty early on. A Shaq is going to activate lots of cooldowns. Cam frozen? Oh, really? Oh, no. Okay, we'll fix it after the duel. Cam froze, boys. We'll fix it after the duel. I don't want to screw up the duel because I feel like I need to unplug the camera and plug it back in for it to work. Unforge. Or should I just keep it there, dude? Or should I just keep it? Oh my god, Shaq! Chat! My camera is frozen, I know! And I was trying to fix it for a second. I was trying to figure out what to do with it. And we didn't even get to watch what happened to Shaq. But it looks like Shaq came in, he saw... He didn't quite conquer, but he'll get it next time. Mission failed, we'll get him next time. Damn, I missed a whole duel. Sorry about that, boys. But yes, I know, my cam is frozen. I need to fix it after that. Revender, though. Trying to see if he might be able to get a better duel against Hawthorne this time. He did do well against the Shadowlands just now. Maybe he'll be able to do something against Hawthorne. As Hawthorne is going to get the dots up and running pretty early, trying to maintain himself in heals as best as possible. Greater Fate for that Resonant Arrow, using the mobility of Greater Fate to get up in melee with Revender. And looks like he didn't go for any kind of CC there just now. Maybe he was expecting for Revender to use a Feign Death or something a little bit early. Or maybe expecting CC out of Revender. But now he has CC if he needs to trick us out of that stun into a Mind Games on Revender. And I believe the pets are going to provide healing as the pets are part of Revender's toolkit. He's going to have the Void Elf Rage to moving him super far out, but not far enough. Eating a Shadow Crash though as Hawthorne has the perfect geometry lineup on it. With the dots getting set up on Revender either way. And Hawthorne is still in a decent spot, still holding on to Disperse if he ever needs to. And he's still got plenty of Shadowmans out there. Does have the Void of Rage still kind of crawling over to Revender. Meets him with a stun. With a Void Eruption ready to go. Feign Death immediately for Revender with a Freezing Trap onto Hawthorne. And Revender is going to have to look for some self-healing. Do the pets have dots? Because otherwise this camo isn't going to last long. They don't. Okay, so Revender, this is good. Is going to use the heal on the pets. And I believe you guys told me that if the pets have Ferocity style pets, if they're Ferocity pets, that means it gives you Leech. So when you pop a heal on your pets, it actually gives you a heal as well, doesn't it? Or am I wrong about that? If that's true, that's huge. Hawthorne Greater Fading out of the Resonant Arrow immediately. So for Revender, he's just going to have to wait and try it again next time. But Hawthorne has a Greater Fade for that arrow every single time. Interrupting Hawthorne for a second is going to stand still and get himself some shields. With Shadowmans back to back, he's going to have to be worrying about his health. Just a little stun onto Revender. Able to deal with adaptation because the stun is quite short. Feign Death by Revender is going to get himself a little bit of a self-heal. Big heals from the Kyrian though. I think it's a healing over time too, so it's giving him quite a bit of healing. Hawthorne getting put on ice for a moment just to chill there for a second. But at 28% dampening, this Shadow Priest is still going to be able to heal quite a bit. Quick fear on the pets, and he's not even trying to get a fear onto Revender. I guess he doesn't really need to fear Revender, he just needs to fear the pets, because those are going to be a majority of Revender's damage. As these pets are going to be pincering and pinching him. And in the case of that mechanical scorpion, drilling him, sawing him, and lasering him. Is that a laser on the tip? Gonna be big damage out of Revendare, but again, the Greater Fate is there just to prevent it. If Hawthorne walks back into the resonating shot, he'll be in a bad spot. It looks like Revendare is actually able still to get some damage through the wall as the resonating shot effect stayed there for a little bit longer. Hawthorne does have full void eruption, freezing trap around the corner. He does have it break. I don't really know what broke it. Maybe like a bleed from Revendare. Maybe one of the pets auto-attacked him by accident. Gonna try to go for an interrupt onto Hawthorne, stun into Revendare with a mind gaze right after. Hawthorne should have a pretty big damage into a turtle shell ball. Revendare into an interrupt onto Hawthorne, still mind games for a second. Does he have anything to go here? Hawthorne got himself a big PI. Revendare might have to try to see if he can remove it. Fear onto Revendare. Does have adaptation proccing into a freezing trap trick inside of it. Try to get the dots onto Revendare as Revendare having to go for a pet resummon. He needs to get some sort of CC onto Hawthorne. If he can get a full revive pet, this would be huge for him. He does get a revive pet. Hawthorne could have went for Greater Fate to stop it, but I think he decided against it because he wants to have that Greater Fate for the next resonating arrow, resonating shot. There it goes. Greater Fate available for it. Can walk out of it before Revendare can get too much damage, but he does have that line of sight as Hawthorne walks way out of the pillar. Stun onto the Shadow Priest, goes to the Disperse. That's going to be quite a bit of healing as Revendare trying to find a way to deal with Hawthorne. Stun onto the Hunter with mind games to follow. That's just so much pressure here, boys. Just so much pressure for Revendare. If any kind of healing he gets, oh, this could be really bad. Oh my god, he's just melting. Feign death for a second. His pet's still alive. His pets are still alive. The pets are going to not allow him to get the full camo. Try to go for a Void Elf. Oh, the Void Elf thing stopped in a corner. The Void Elf. What do you call it? Whatchamacallit? Void. It's not Void Shift, right? It's something else. Actually, wait. The pets are getting feared. If you're going to walk Hawthorne into a freezing trap, you might be able to go for Feign Death and maybe get himself a reset. Greater Fated it. Just so we can walk at Revendare, taking him out with them dots. An Articulos, which I believe is Night King as a Paladin, is going to be up next. Full stun into Hawthorne and just dominates it. Alright, Chill Pills, dude. This is why Chill Pills is a Paladin. This is what I believe. Chill Pills probably actually plays this Paladin regularly. He actually has him as geared as Death Knight. And Chill Pills queues arenas on a regular, playing the Death Knight. You know, trying his hardest, trying his soul out. And Death Knights are pretty good for PvP, but the survivability and self-heals is kind of rough. So anytime Chill Pills goes in like a bunch of BGs or RBGs or arenas, and if he ever gets a couple bad games as a Paladin, he always has backup spec where he could just go and dominate kids in BGs, just running around slamming people, splitting him in half, or slamming big old hammers on the heads, just making them explode as a Paladin. That's just his way to just like work out any frustrations of the day. He had a couple not unfortunate games on the Death Knight. He just go to Paladin and just bully people in PGs. Geared ass to 226 Paladin with a 233 weapon most likely. I don't know what his gear is in a Paladin. I'm just guessing here. But what if that's the story here? That's the backstory. He just goes in just to bully people. Just like, man, let me play a spec that's much easier for PvP, dude. The S plus triple plus special Timmy edition tier. Let me just play that. Get all my frustrations out of the way. Warcraft is trying out Beast Mastery, by the way. Looks like he's trying out what Revendare was trying. And Archico is actually getting interrupted on a hole. He is going to get the bubble back up and running. Warcraft did force a pretty big defensive out of him. Man. But then again, I'm just guessing that's what Chilpus does with this character. I have no idea. Maybe it's just an under-geared character. Which maybe it is. And he's like, you know what? Running around a fully geared Frost DK, that's too easy. Been trying this Paladin that I've been getting up and running. Just got to out of level 60 or something. I don't know, dude. I have no idea how much gear he has in this guy. But he is kind of under quite a bit of pressure. Normal bubble available, and Blessing of Protection against a Hunter isn't going to do much. So I think we're going to actually might have a good setup. Looks like both of the pets that are undead do get stunned by the Wake of Ashes. Big blind onto Wargren. Wings available. All holy damage. As long as he doesn't auto-attack Wargren, it doesn't break the blind. And it looked like he was actually pretty good at it so far. Did quite a bit of damage to Wargren, who threw down a trap, which I think is a freezing trap to the left a little bit. Oh, God. It zoomed in a little. Wargren tried to go for a bit of a setup. Article is going for as much healing as he can. Try to stay out of resonating shot as much as possible, but I think it's still in there. Kill shots are coming through. Going to be a bop. Could remove it. Does remove it. And Article still has Word of Glory to keep himself alive for a little bit longer. Freezing trap. Trinkets in and goes to kill Command by Wargren. Wargren watching Revendare is learning. He is learning, boys. He is learning. Chicago is up next, boys. Oh no, Chicago and we're gonna go for pretty long games against one another most of the times. Pretty long ones. Chicago is gonna pick up the eyes pretty quickly. Wargren looks like he's actually gonna hug the pillar. Just gonna chill there for a bit. Hodges are blind. Did the hunter trinket at the Hodge? I don't think he hodged him. Maybe. I think he just hit him into a blind. Was good. That pillar kills. Yeah, that pillar is pretty nutty, especially for hunters. It's just so good. Was resonating shot. But Chicago is gonna have to walk into resonator. Man, these pets are doing work. Fleshcraft available is gonna get interrupt on it. Wargen does not have an interrupt for that heal. Is gonna get stoned for the pets. Those pets are rampaging on Chicago, dude. The Raptors just jumping for joy. That's just clawing on Chicago there. Maybe he sees Chicago in a Ghost Wolf Raptor form. And he's so happy he's making a friend. It could be any... I really don't know. But Wargun got himself quite a bit of pressure there with that burst as a Beast Mastery. Those pets actually hurt. For Beast Mastery, pets are actually really, really good. Really, really good. Chicago makes sure to keep those pets flame shocked in case Wargun ever gets a camo. But Wargun is actually the playstyle, the spec that kind of wants to be out in the open, wants to make sure you're always getting those kill commands into Chicago. You kind of want your pets constantly clawing at the enemy and maybe max ranging him and kiting him, but not as much in terms of LOS, I would think. At least I would imagine. As survival, at least you have like quite a bit of dot damage and you can keep the pet on the enemy with kill commands that you can do, I think, through line of sight too. Can you? I would think maybe. Actually, I don't know if you can. Now I'm questioning myself. And that's now I'm starting to question myself. We're going to take a bit of a beating from Chicago, but does survive it. Chicago's not getting the wall for a bit. So if Warren can give himself a nice setup on Chicago, he could be in a really good spot. Chicago charging in, Earth Shield renewed. And trying to get himself a bit of a heal stun by Warren. Trying to make as much damage happen out of here. Wall available for Chicago very, very soon. Big Sunder onto Warren. Should be able to get quite a bit of Maelstrom. And as long as he has the pets to attack or the hunter to attack, he'll be in a really good spot. Binding shot. Does he have the sprint to get himself out of that slow? He doesn't. Try not to get interrupted. Big interrupt on that heal though. And Worgen might have enough damage trying to get the kill command, the kill shot onto Chicago. But looks like Worgen is going to bail out of there. Probably should have left his pets on Chicago. I feel like he would have been okay. Wait a second. What the hell? Okay, I think Worgen had a Battle Master Trinket used there. That's how he survived a lot of the onslaught by Chicago. This is how this basically went down to 0. Also, I noticed Chicago is not running Ascendance. He's actually running full Elemental Spirits. He's actually running full Alley Wolves, which is interesting. I wonder if that's better than Ascendance. I guess the Wolves are going to do damage, and you'll have them up more often, especially when you're getting kited by a Hunter like that. They will do damage. As long as Chicago can avoid the freezing trap, which he doesn't get to, Trink is still available. Does he have one more hit? Big leap towards Wargren. Does he have one more hit on him? And does get that hit in the head. Oh my god. Oh my god. Revendare! 3 kills on that man. Hawthorne, I thought Hawthorne would get more than that. Whoa, Hawthorne, you heal a lot. Shadow Priest heal a bunch, huh? That's pretty good. I didn't realize Revendare had 3 kills there. Crazy. Rewatched the Paladin, he hodged into a blind. Hunter didn't trigger the hodge. So then he might have auto-attacked him in that blind, did he? Okay, he might have accidentally autoed then during that. Hunter's amazing and damp. Yeah, they're really good. I think Wargren loses Chicago is running wrong pets. Is he? What pets are you supposed to run for BM? What are the best pets for BM, actually? I actually wouldn't mind trying it out on my Hunter as a BM. I think in PvP it could be kind of fun. What are the best pets? Hunter is a noob spec. Noob spec. Whole class is a noob spec. Okay, let me see if I can fix my webcam. Oh, it's fixed. Okay, apparently just turn it off. So I normally would go behind my PC, unplug it, plug it in. Apparently just turning it off on OBS and then turning it on does it. Apparently that's all I had to do. We could have fixed it way earlier. I didn't realize. What best would you run, Revendare? So I have to keep on the offensive? I think, yeah, well, as Hunter, you have to keep on the offensive. Could be wrong. Raven is rough for me. I can't wait behind pillars. Yeah, that is a little rough. What's up, Peter? How you doing, my man? Chicago got the revenge, dude. Chicago, actually, yeah, he did get a revenge. So Chicago beat Wargren when he's survival. Then Wargren beat Chicago as a marksman. And now Chicago came back as a adjusted his build slightly, I guess, to Beastmaster Wargren. So Wargren has to go marksman this time so he can fight Chicago. Mortal Wound Ferocity pet and Tenacity Mortal Wound pet. Wait, so you actually do get 2 different pets? Both of them are Mortal Wounds, huh? So which one is your main pet then, Revendare? Which one would you be main pet? Is the Ferocity one or Tenacity one? But both of them would have Mortal Wound, I guess, yeah? You can only use one of them though, right? For healing, running, Ferocity, Leech. Okay, so your main pet is her heal Ferocity. Okay, cool, cool. And then I guess you would run Tenacity. Does it give you also the benefit of the health increase for having 2 pets? Because that's actually kind of huge. Ferocity Wound, okay. Yeah, I'll try that on my Hunter then. I need to get another... I don't think I have a Tenacity Mortal Wound pet. I'll need to find one on my Hunter. I think on my Hunter I just use the Frog just because I like the Frog. But that one is... has like a dodge effect. And it's Tenacity, which I guess it kind of works out pretty okay. Привет, Dalaran, как сам? Здорово, Амидехи, how you doing? Амидехи Shaman, yes, yeah. Здорово, как дела, мой друг? Pink T-Rex, let me know if you're ready, my guy. I don't know if you could swap people out. Tenacity only gives 7% HP, but also gives 20% wall, so you can use it while stunned. So, do you actually get to use the wall button if that pet is like your... So you would have 2 pets. One of them is a Ferocity Wound and then Tenacity. Do you swap pets out from like Tenacity to a or do you just have like your main pet Mortal Wound Ferocity and your offhand is Mortal Wound Tenacity? Do you get the benefits of Tenacity if you're running 2 pets? Because I was pretty sure even if you're running 2 pets, you only get your main pet's buffs. Second pet doesn't do anything. Okay. So then I guess you would run the other one in case, like in arenas, I guess, yeah? So you'd run one if you need the self-heal, but then you run the other in arena. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, the 20% wall is pretty big in PvE and stuff. Ferocity, Mortal Wound pet. Yeah, Ferocity gives you Leech, so then when you go pet heal, when you heal the pet with Pet Mend, I think, right? Pet Mend? When you mend pet. When you press mend, 3 out of 5 Valley, sounds good, my dude. We can wait. Up is just situational. Tenacity and Mortal Wound is better versus Rogue Mage. Okay, yeah, I could see it because like that'll be a defensive. I could see that then. Okay, and I guess most everything else you'll run the Ferocity one so you can have a self heal. That's pretty good. That's pretty cool. Because I know that Beast Mastery is becoming a lot better of a class nowadays, boys. Like as for PvP, it has really good consistent damage, and I imagine that in the next raid tier you'll get more stats. There'll be more mastery for your pet, or more haste. I don't know which stat you stack as a secondary, but you'll be able to get more stats, and that'll make your pets even stronger. And Beastmaster is generally the kind of spec that scales better towards endgame. Like Marksman right now is really good at the start, but then Beastmaster becomes really, really good towards the latter half. And I think that'll be really, really good overall. You know what I mean? But yeah. Alright, we'll wait for Pink T-Rex. Use 2 more, or 1 more, and then we'll be good to go, boys. Well, that was a good one, dude. The double Shatter Priest. We missed completely what Revan did to the other Shatter Priest because my webcam broke completely. First and Moon also gives you an extra 8k healing when you use Exile because of the Leech Works. Oh! Wait, that's really good. Is it healing itself for 30% of your HP and you put 400. Oh! It double dips! Wait, that's awesome! Wait. Yo, Revenor, that's actually awesome, dude. Wait a second. That's actually dope. Yo, by the way, Hawthorne and Revenor, do you guys want to write something in Discord so I can give you the champion role for the big old 1v5s, boys? Unless I haven't done that yet. Yeah, if you guys want to write something, tag me. Let me know who's who in Discord. I'm gonna tag you, dude. I'm gonna tag you with that champ role, dude. Because you guys blasted it in duels, you know what I mean? But as soon as Pink T-Rex got a group, man, we'll be good to go. We're trying to give the dudes that done a 1v5 in Discord a role for champions. This is the guys that did the 1v5s, man. Where's my champ role? Okay, Chicago, you too. Actually, that's true. That's true. You had a 1v5 first game. That's true. Write something, dude. Just write something in Disc, man, and tag me. Let me know who's who. I gave it to you a while ago. As Chicago has it? Raven? Champions. And hopefully you don't mind if I add you a nickname. What's the name? Ultra? Ultra? Ravendare. I'm gonna give you a nickname, Ravendare, just so I can see who is who. I'm really bad with names. But I'll give you guys like a thing at the end, like a quote mark, so I know who's who. You know what I mean? I want to ask, what do you think about it, Mystery Monk and M+? I love the playstyle, but I'm scared nobody will pug me. So I've done my 19 on my Rogue with a Mystery Monk. Most of my 19s with a Mystery Monk. They are definitely not an easy meta, but they are playable. Like the community perception is like a very Ricky Bobby mentality of if you ain't first, you're last. Like even though Monks is like not the most meta pick, especially for pushing really like world record breaking keys, like it'll be like Resto Shamans, Holy Paladins, maybe even Disc Priest. While Mystery Monks have some issues, they really are not as bad as the community perceives them to be. And you can definitely do a lot of them with it. You can really do a lot with them. So they are not bad. I think you will struggle when it comes to pugging, but if you have like a guild group that really is serious about pushing and you're like, hey, I want to play Mystery River, I think you can really squeeze a lot out of it before you really hit a wall. You will squeeze quite a bit out of it if you're really wishing to put some effort into it. But if you look at a pugs, yeah, pugs have a perception of Ricky Bobby mentality, which sucks. I hate that mentality. I think it's completely 100% wrong. But we all realize where it comes from, right? Like people will imagine that, oh, Mystery Healer, oh, they can't even do like a 10, even if they're like 226 gear and they're down Danny Mythic. Like they'll be like, oh no, nah, I this guy down Danny Mythic, nah, he can't do a 10. There's no way. We need a Resto Shaman pronto. They'll take a Resto Shaman that's never been in the key just because he's a Resto. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you're gonna be playing with guildies or friends or pre-made group, you can literally play whatever you want to. For the most part, you can play literally whatever you want to, and you can really max it. You can really do some cool shit with it. You can really min-max things. But in terms of pugging, it's not going to be a friendly world for you. This server has done around 22-23. Oh, like in terms of high-end keys? Have they? Is that their highest? Is that their highest? Hold on, we have sub-creation. Monk's in like the D tier. It's just 21. What is the best Mystery Monk out there though? I guess we could check her out IO, right? Please don't show me someone's stream. Hate how Radar does it. But people get like big stuff out of the front page. Is that the guy? 23s. Is that the most? So sometimes this whole mythic spec leaderboards isn't accurate, but this is as close as we can get it. And it looks like this guy done 23s. Now, did he do him as a Mistweaver? He did. That a Shadow Priest too. And then as a Necrolord. That's pretty cool. Changeling. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Yeah, like there's people out there that are playing. Like 23 is a pretty high-end keys, dude. That's pretty up there. You know what I mean? That's not like something to sneeze at. And like in here, there's a lot of people that have done 20s. Like that's really not something to sneeze at. Like that's really good. That is really, really good. But in the park world, it's gonna be tough. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be tough. Pink T-Rex! Do we have enough, my guy? Do we have enough? Mascos has done 2022s in Time with the Monk. I realize it's quite a unique example of them. Yeah, like there's some people out there that are really, really good at Monk. And I don't think it's a problem. Like the class will most likely hit a wall, right? But it's gonna be a while. Like if you want to play a Monk, if you really want to play one and you want to push some keys, I think that it'll be a while before you really hit your wall. You know what I mean? It'll be a while before you really hit your wall. This is the way I look at it. But again, it's really up to you, you know what I mean? It's really up to you. Alright, Pink T-Rex got a group? Alrighty. Let's get you boys up and running then. Let's get your boys up and running. Ping T-Rex and Night King yet again. Let's see if we got any new people in there. Pretty impressive. Our personal love playing is a healer, but always being hesitant to try mystery or with people I don't know. Yeah, with people you don't know, Pug World is a sucky world, man. I feel like if you pug everything in World of Warcraft, it's not a fun one. You have to have some you have to have perseverance, in my opinion, because Pug World is an unfair world where people have like prejudices off the bat, and there's not much you can really do about them, to be honest. You know. I feel like we need to go and re-update the people that have champion role, who has them, who doesn't, because I think more of you guys are supposed to have it than what we have right now. Because isn't Peachy supposed to be in there as part of the big 1v5s? Hawthorne, if you want to whisper me or write something in Discord, man, I'll give you the role as well. You want to, my guy? It's up to you. Flexing, I'm pretty sure he's done a 1v5. Like, Flexing, I think should be on there, right? Am I wrong? Switch. We got ourselves team 1 together with Articulos, which is Night King on a Paladin, with Chicago in the back. We got Revender. We got ourselves Peach. He has a Feral. Actually get to play this time. And in the back, we also got Dark Messiah, changing up the mug. I like it. Versus team 2, we got ourselves Mad Bro. We got ourselves Hawthorne. And up is going to be Flexing. First up and running with Corball in the back, as well as a Warg Ren. That's going to be Flexing, sitting out in the flame, most likely with a trap under him. And Peachy is just a little bit careful about walking in there. Is going to leap in with a bash. Freezing trap is going to hit him. Did he put a freezing trap in front of him? Was it on purpose, maybe? It still looks like it's going to get hit with the fear either way. Flexing find himself that corner. And it's going to barrage Peachy. What was that kill shot damage just now? That thing must have crit. That was a lot of damage. Peachy's trying to answer aggression with aggression. Sorry for me. Okay, so Peachy is number 4. Number 3. Okay, that works out. Big roar onto Flexing. Does he get the Cyclone? Trying to go for it for sure. Is going to get that Cyclone off. Bear form and might have to tank up this damage a little bit. Is going to have himself a little bit extra self-heal. With Wall getting burned here, is going to activate Berserk. Trying to make some damage happen to Flexing. Does go for a quick re-stealth there too. With the Flash Cap trying to give himself a little bit of DR. Is going to get interrupted by Flexing on the DR though. With Manning managed to remove all those dots. With Scarab Beast, does he power shift? He tried to see if he could power shift out of it. Didn't get to though. And it looks like Peachy is kind of fought him so super low. Kill shot away. Quick maim with Flexing. Might be able to get himself a little bit extra healing. Bash right after he needs himself heals for certain. Kill shots while in bear form are really painful. But looks like he does get himself a pretty big kill with a frenzied regen. Trying to go for a couple regrowths as well. Flexing isn't there to interrupt it. Stun quickly onto Peachy. If he gets those kill shots, this could be really deadly. Trying to finish off with nades, and I think it's going to be done for the count. That is a rough one, man. Survival Hunter just countered Feral so well. Just able to remove those bleeds quite easily. Especially as a Necrolord Feral, which I really like the fact that Peach is trying it. You know what I mean? Ping T-Rex, you did first. I think you actually did. I think you actually did, my dude. Big stun onto Flexing. Blind by Articulus. Trying to go for holy damage without breaking the CC. That is so busted. Oh my god, that is so busted. Oh, whoa. He attacked the stone form. Wait, you actually could have almost killed yourself there. Night King. So the way that works, that soulbind works, is when you die, you leave a stone fragment of yourself that will explode. It will shatter. You could try to kill it, but it'll just do damage and heal allies nearby, so just get away from it. If you are near it and it shatters when you're low, it just kills you. You're just like a martyrdom back in Call of Duty, dude. Oh my goodness. Yo, Wargrand, if you want to write something in chat, man, or at least in Discord, I got you. I got you. Poor Peachy. I know, right, dude? He actually was trying to test out the Necrolord Feral. He hasn't got to play today at all. And the first duel is against Flexing, a class that hard counters him. Hawthorne going to be up next as a Shadow Priest versus Articulus, which is, wait, number 1? Okay, number 1. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. I'm trying to give you guys so much of a whiplash. You know what I mean? As Hawthorne pushes in onto Articulus, does hit him with a stun. It's going to be meter triggered by the Shadow Priest, trying to control the mind of a Paladin. Is going to throw them hammers either way. Final verdict from afar, and Hawthorne looks like he took barely of any of that damage. Articulus getting hit with a mind control, trying to CC the Paladin as best as he can. I notice Articulus does not have any gloves. That looks a little weird. I feel like he should have gloves. It feels like a portion of his set is missing. Where are the gloves? Why do I see your hands? It's so weird. Article is getting hit with a mind games and knows he doesn't really want to do damage to the Hawthorne. Or heal for that matter. Just trying to wait it out a little bit. Big silence onto the Paladin. Does still have Rebuke though. That is the big difference between Death Knight that Night King usually plays and Paladin. Rebuke isn't a magic cast. It's just a normal silence. It's like a punch to the face. You rebuke the enemy. The way I imagine it, it's probably like a Paladin doing like an uppercut. Kind of like, it's rebuke, so I guess it's supposed to be like a silence in a way. But I always imagine Paladins doing like an uppercut with the rebuke. It's just that fist animation looks so good. The pummel for warriors always makes you think like they're punching him in the gut. Kind of like a kidney shot. Just pummel him, just hit him. Always in the stomach for some reason, I don't know why. Rogue, kick is a kick, you know what I mean? Kick is a kick. Skull bash, skull bash. That stuff makes sense. It's going to be Mind Games trying to come out for onto Articles. Is going to be bubbling this actually. With Hawthorne going for a mass dispel. Articles trying to make the most damage during a blind. Trying not to break the blind with the holy damage. That is so cheesy, dude. Paladin so cheesy with a blind. Actually the cheesiest ever. Big silence on Articles. Could be really bad. Might be looking for that Word of Glory spam. But Hawthorne taking him out. The shadow covers the light, dude. He threw some shade in there. Big damage out of him. Big Shadow Word death. Who's up next? It's either going to be Revender, Chicago, or Dark Messiah. Who here can defeat this Shadow Priest? Looks like Dark Messiah is going to give it a go. As a Frosty Death Knight. If he can get himself a good setup against Hawthorne, who actually doesn't have Disperse for a while. If he can get himself full burst rolling and try to avoid the Greater Fade, he'll actually be in a really good spot. Does it Lichborn? Does Shackle Undead? Is he trying not to get Shackled? Does get interrupted on Shackle. Greater Fade still comes out. It's going to be Shadowlands available for Hawthorne. The grippy hand isn't really able to grip until way later. Does he have the burst available? That's going to be IBF for the... No, not IBF, but it looks like Human Racial does get hit with the Mind Games though. Trying to burn down Hawthorne, but the Mind Control comes out. The burst out of the Frost Death that came and went just like that. Super, super unfortunate there, boys. Super unfortunate. As he's going to try to go for an interrupt onto Hawthorne, does juke it. So he's able to get all his spell casts off. Dark Messiah is sacrificing the undead pet to try to maintain the health and even making a pact with death to try to prolong the damage and survivability here. Big fear and a blind onto Hawthorne, who trinkets it and swiftly executes the Death Knight out of this arena with Revender charging in next. Getting that resonant shot versus Hawthorne. Going to be a bit of a rematch for Revender. Hawthorne is behind on one defensive, but maybe Revender will be able to do something here. Hawthorne trying to make some tricks here happen. Stun to Revender is going to be able to get a shot him in. And Revender does pull one of the pets back. I wonder if it was pulling pet back for one reason or another. Maybe Master's Call? I don't think it was a Master's Call, but they did pull the pet back. And like it sprinted back really quickly. I wonder if it has an extra ability. Like maybe some kind of like a defensive to Revender. Or like a shield. I don't even know. It ran over for a reason. I don't really know exactly what the reason was. Pet Sack? Maybe Pet Sack. Does he need to run to them for Pet Sack? I really don't know. Hawthorne tried to go for a PI, but that got stripped immediately by Revender. Void Eruption getting set up by the Shadow Priest as he's slowly floating over to the Hunter. And it's going to be put on ice for a second here. Revender in the Turtle Shell is not longer going to have that big defensive immunity. We'll need to find a way around the Shadow Priest, who has a lot of healing. And quite a big defense is still left in his toolkit. Gonna be a big stun on Revender. Feign death and immediately try to get himself a big heal. The Mind Games comes in. He's gonna have a lot of his burst reduced here, because he literally just gotta wait until he can actually do the damage with a Greater Fate, preventing him from doing damage afterwards. I mean, Hawthorne is just messing with his head this whole time. The Mind Games, the Mind Flays. I mean, he's literally melting the guy's brain with how much he has to play, how well he has to play in order to defeat Hawthorne. Try to see if he might be able to get him as he's trying to door shadows out of there. Could be potentially dispersed out of Hawthorne. Revender try to see, does get the interrupt, does he get the kill? He does get the interrupt on Shadow with a kill shot before. Actually, disperse has been used. It looked like disperse got on cooldown. Maybe he canceled by accident. Oh, that might have been a little bit of a misplay. That's unfortunate. That's a big unfortunate. Oh no. That's crazy. Well, Corball is going to be up next, looking for the Hunter. Hanging out by the eye. In case the Hunter is thinking of taking it, is going to be seen where the flare goes out. Ravender moseying over next to the eye in case the rogue picks one up, or in case the rogue is near it. I think he does have a tar trap next to one eyeball. If you could put a freezing trap next to the other, then he'll have all his bases covered. Corball could pick up the eyes and an advantage. That is sometimes what rogues do. But if Ravender does get a 100's mark on him immediately, that'd be really bad. And Ravender looking to maybe reposition Flare in one side of Flare. He knows he has to be next to this eye. Does have him with a 100's mark. He actually hits him with a 100's mark. Walking past. It's super unfortunate for Corball, who does pop Cloak as well as Evasion. Sprinted to Ravender, trying to make the most damage happen. And that's going to be a trap went down, but I think Corball still had Cloak that let him survive it. Big cheap shot on Ravender, looking for that survivability. Big movement. Does he have any other ways out? Maybe a feign death? Blind onto Ravender. Unless he can somehow get his pet a heal or something, I think it might be over. He needs to put down a trap, I think, under his feet if at all possible. I don't know if he's going to get a chance. Maybe Acceleration might be the first global he needs to use. If Corball doesn't go with a cheap shot, this could be maybe potentially something useful still. Maybe could still do something. Kidney shot comes out immediately. Does he have any ways out? I think it's over. Mark for death. Oh, the Eviscerates comes in and Corball takes the cake. With Chicago making sure to put a flame check on the guy. And an Earth Elemental walking up, not letting him catch a full reset. Super unfortunate. Chicago get himself a pretty big shield. Gonna be Wolves. Actually does get the Elemental Wolves available. So those guys are gonna have a pretty short CD. And I think there's slightly more Elemental damage too. Try to see if he can Doorway of Shadows out of there. I'm wondering if he's playing Theodore or maybe Draven for his Soulbind. I wonder. I think Theodore for Sub-Rogues is really, really good. That Root Break and Slow Break. It's pretty good. Especially if you get rooted by a mage. You could always just phase out of it. But it looks like Corball might be going down. Not a lot of defenses left against Chicago. Not much you can really do. And it doesn't look like he's playing General Draven. So I think he was playing Theodore. He just never got the Mastery proc. Or at least I didn't see one. Wargren up next as a Beastmaster Hunter as well. But Chicago, the last one on his team. Playing out the Elemental Spirits, Elemental Wolves, which might be pretty good against Wargren. That is going to be way shorter cooldown for those Wolves. And it's going to get a Flame Shock on Wargren immediately. Wargren actually switching out the pets with Ramadar's recommendation. Actually, he did switch out one of them, maybe. So it looks like... No, he actually didn't. Never mind. I thought he had a different Raptor. Both of them are the same Raptors that are undead Raptors. I don't know what kind. Ramadar said something about Ferocity pets, Tenacity pet, and Mortal Wound pets. And Ferocity with Beastmaster apparently is really synergetic. But I'm going to leave it up to him in case Ramadar makes a guide. I don't want to spoil Ramadar's guidance here in the stream. If he wants to make a guide, he can. As I'm looking at it. That's rough, man. That's rough. Chicago behind the pillar at the almost 12-minute mark with 42% dampening. Should still be able to get quite a bit of healing. Wargren is going to have to really go for, I think, a lot of sustained damage on Chicago. He's going to have to get line inside of Chicago. To eat a couple maybe lightning bolts. But the more he can beef up those pets for that sustained damage, the more kill commands he can do, the better. Because those pets do okay damage behind the wall. Like, you can see the amount of damage those pets do behind the pillar. That's not bad, right? It's not terrible. But when the pets get really beefed up with Frenzy, when they're really beefed up with the barb shots, they're in a really good spot. Big kill commands coming out. Looks like Wargren actually pulling his pets back for a second. Stun on Chicago, chickens out immediately. Does drop down the grounding totem. But I don't really know if the grounding totem will be able to help him too much in this situation. As Chicago is going to get kited by Wargren. Trying to go for a fear onto the Ghost Wolves as they are firing Ghost Wolves. They're doing a little bit extra damage. As long as the Wolves are attacking the Hunter instead of the pets, then they'll actually get a little bit of value off them. Chicago getting put on ice and Wargren is just looking for himself for a little bit better of a different setup. Pets getting stunned around the corner. But does get a binding shot in Chicago as they're pushing him. Wargren looking to create his own space. Used to get a slow on Chicago as he's just running for it, pulling his pets back completely. And Chicago get himself a full Urge Shield back up and running again. Wall available in case things go bad for Chicago. Wargren has a turtle if things really, really go sour. And it's going to be Freezing Trap onto that Sundering in a good spot with that one. It's going to go for a bit of a feigned death and a bit of a disengage on top of it. Just waiting now for Chicago to get up close and personal. But Wargren is going to get himself that big old camo. So it'll be pretty good for now. You can't grab eyes and vanish anymore? I tried the other day in rated. Might only work in rated only though. Really? I was pretty sure that was still a thing. If you actually cannot vanish while you're grabbing eyes anymore. That kind of sucks. I remember rogues used to use that against each other, like, right? Pick up the eyes, vanish, and you would kind of get aggressive. Are you sure? I guess I need to try it at some point. Next time I get to do some arenas. Chicago out there with the flash scribe, just making sure they're fully set up and ready to go. Wargren is going to try to kind of force Chicago into the room. The pets are attacking the pets, which is not good for Chicago. It needs to get those ghost wolves to attack Wargren, which is exactly what they were doing now. Wargren does have the frost wolf on him as well as a fire wolf. Those things are doing quite a bit of damage. Just the wolves themselves just kind of chilling on Wargren. If they can stay there the full duration, 15 seconds, they can do quite a lot of damage. Because those wolves used to do no damage back in BFA and they were really there just for free resources with Maelstrom. But now that in Shadowlands, they actually do quite a bit of damage, and having a shorter cooldown on them is actually quite good. I wonder if Chicago is also not playing the Juman's Lego. If they're playing the Lego where they generate Maelstrom, they actually reduce the cooldown of the wolves. Is that a thing? I'm actually going to watch the Ghosts School and see if they do get extra CDR. Because Chicago should be generating Maelstrom here and there, right? Potentially, hopefully. Because I'll actually know. They wouldn't be able to run that Lego. They would be running the Elemental Lego, Elemental Shield. Yeah, there's no way they have cooldown reduction then. There's actually no way. Wargren hanging around on the other side of the pillar, 15 minutes into the duel, 61% dampening. And I really think Wargren is going to have to get those pets into line of sight of Chicago and just like kind of keep trucking with those pets. Get those kill shots in there, get those kill commands in there, really ramp up those pets with a barb shot. I think that's the only way he's really going to be able to win this, because I think he will have to pressure Chicago with the pets. Playing Beastmaster, you have really big sustained damage. Huge sustained damage. These pets are actually getting quite a bit of work. Maelstrom is available for Chicago. Does put him on ice for a second, which does force Chicago to use a trinket here. If Wargren can just max range Chicago, he'll be in a great spot. Chicago's pets don't do go super far. One of the pets getting scared off completely. The other pet trying to bite at the Hunter's pets, which is not perfect. Chicago somehow needs to get those pets to attack Wargren more than anybody. Big damage to the Wargren. Chicago finally able to reconnect. And Wargren tucking his non-existent Worgen tail, because Worgens apparently don't have tails even though they're wolves, and runs. I feel like that's one thing that could add Worgen is tails. Like, what would be bad about Worgens and tails? Like, just give it an option or something, you know? Well, Worgen actually drop it down. Battle Master's Trinket no longer in play. One more hit and you'll be down. Braun is going to try to heal him. Braun trying to heal him as best as he can. That Battle Master's Trinket, man, actually gets him so close to dead. So close, because he borrows the health and then it's just like doesn't have a way out of it afterwards in most cases. Stone on Chicago. Wargren trying to make the most damage with a Resonating Arrow. Can he create more line of sight? Does actually create even more line of sight. Maybe it'll interrupt Chicago. Flashcraft right after has the DR as well as the shield is huge. Is that shield even impacted by dampening? I think it might not be. That's a massive, massive shield. Trinket for Wargren. Just trying to get away from Chicago. Chicago just needs one more big hit on the guy. Just one more big hit. Anything. Oh my god, he's so close. He's so close. Just anything. There goes a Storm Strike. Man, it took a while, huh? The Hunter kites, man. The Hunter and their kites. With Mabro charging in with a quick fear on Chicago. Stun right after. He's going to have to burn through our Flash Drive shield. But does have the Mind Games with a Void Eruption set up already. Stunned by Chicago. Dropping down the totem, actually. Pretty good. To dissuade the Shadow Priest from attacking him, but he's still under quite a bit of pressure. PI up on the Shadow Priest. Chicago with a silence, quite a lot of pressure on the Shaman. Sunders the ground upon the Shadow Priest stands and tries to create a bit more line of sight. Definitely needs to get those Ghosts somehow. Oh, at least Ghosts will attack at something. If not the Shadow Priest, at least the Shadow Fiend. So at least they're generating Maelstrom in one way or another. It is definitely going to have to be looking at his mana, as it is non-existent. So Chicago might have to get himself a little bit of mana. Oh, Axel sitting down for mana. Wait, get him to drink in arena? Wait a second. It's actually huge. That's actually huge for him. Like a Restoration Shaman. He's getting drink inside of an arena. That's awesome. Trying to see if he can charge at Mabro. Trinket available. And Mabro does have himself the Greater Fate Fear. Quickly on Chicago. Mind Games right after. And Chicago pops in a Ghost Wolf. Trying to see if he might be able to survive this just a hair longer. Quick silence onto Chicago. Is there anything they could do at this point? There's not a lot of healing really available. No more silence out of Mabro, if anything. But the DPs are going to hurt. Trying to get himself as much healing. The Shadow of Death almost takes him out. Healing Surge is barely doing much at 82% dampening. Unless he can get Maelstrom, it's kind of over. He can grounding one thing very, very soon. Very, very soon. Does make sure to get himself the Earth Shield. That's the only thing that's really healing. The Fleshcraft available. No CC while he has it. Quick Hex out to Mad Bro. Could trinket. Does trinket out of it. That shield is the only thing keeping you alive. If you can have some, if you can somehow get Ghost Wolves, man, you'll be good. Dude, I'm checking on my spit all day. What the hell's going on with me? I'm a hazard to myself. Oh no! Oh my god! I was actually so close. I was so close. That was the closest duel ever. Got a Ghost Wolves. If only he had anything to live there, like a grounding totem, dude. Anything. That was so close. Why am I such a hazard to myself for real? That's how many times have I done that today, boys? What the hell is wrong with me? Alrighty, man. Alrighty, dude. We had a lot of long ones, dude. 19 minutes. Holy cow! You guys are nuts. You guys are a huge fan of them long duels, huh? You guys making me edit, making me work for it. That's why I really like short duels. In reality, the reason I actually like short duels, and definitely genuine answer, is because I don't have to edit much. Which is true, I don't, but the reason I like shorter is just I feel like just more action can be compacted in a short window, because a lot of the long duels end up being like one person fighting the other for a long while. Such a good duel. It was a close one. It was a clutch one. Some long ones can be like drawn out, but others can be like really, really good, really close. That was one of the good ones. One of the good ones for sure. Until a DK uses a cancel or a Mac, you can't get it either? Really? Yeah, you can get Shackle and then which is about Lidborn up. Either way, they interrupt wholly or put them in a long CC. Good outcome, no matter what. Yeah, true, true. That is nutty. It's all about dampener classes. Yeah, I guess so. When games go for a lot longer, it is dampener classes. But it's funny how people are like, man, this is the burst expansion ever. People are just dying randomly. And then we having the longest duels we've ever had ever. I don't remember having a lot of long duels in BFA, only with certain set of classes that could last that long, but there was nowhere near as many classes that could do that. And this is supposed to be the burstiest expansion ever. You know what I mean? I think it's funny. It is a burst expansion, but we're also getting some of the longest duels ever, and people play right, dude. They heal themselves so much they don't die until damn. True, true. I should restrict the healing even more. In duels, I mean, they do have dampening, right? The only way to do it is to start dampening, unless you want to nerf everyone's classes heals, which I don't think that's how you do it. I don't think that's how you solve it, because I think it'll, if you nerf classes based on like a dueling, based on duels, that won't work as well, in my opinion. Right? You can't balance the game basically around duels, in PvP at least. Because then it's gonna break all these other aspects. But you cancel aura if your DK comes to global and not get no interrupt. True, true. Yeah, the cancel aura would be kind of. There's not a lot of opportunities where that shackle undead on a DK will happen though. But in a duel, yeah, you basically have to cancel aura, or you have to use Lichborn when you're away from the priest. We're not fighting him or still blind with it. You can show for the blind. Maybe force a trinket out of the priest if they want to really shackle undead, yeah. But I don't think they would. But maybe, because they do have pretty short CDs on this person and such. Anyway, boys, that's gonna be it for me today with 5V5 1v1 duels. We had a long duels, man. We actually dueled quite a bit. Yeah, dueled quite a bit. I don't think we had as many duels as EU today, but we also had way longer duels than EU, dude. You guys just don't want to go down, man. Nobody wants to give up to anybody ever. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed the duels. Gonna be doing them more next week. Friday for EU, Saturday for NA. Thank you guys so much for joining. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. GG's everybody. Good games all around. I'm gonna go get myself most likely something to eat. I gotta get my keys done this week too. So I'm probably gonna be doing that hopefully with some guildies. I think this would be a really good time to get keys done and get all that out of the way. Get all ults done. But yeah, thank you so much. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see all of you guys next stream, okay, boys? Alrighty, you guys take it easy. I'll see you guys Monday. Tomorrow's my day off, so Monday, alright? Alright, boys. Peace.